Greetings, greetings, greetings. I know it is the 4th of July, so some of you are out and about. Most of you are out and about with your family. However, I know all of you are not. Some people don't celebrate it, such as myself. It's not our holiday. In fact, when this holiday was created, we were considered 3/5 of a human. So I know most people are out and about, but I'm going to make my live anyway. And if people end up around and they decide to jump on, then so be it. And if they're not, then you will catch this on the replay, gang. Hey, Fashawn. Greetings, greetings, my love. How are you? Shout out to the people in the nosebleed seat. Shout out to the people, my neurodivergence. Shout out to people in luxuriating from the comfort of their car, their house, their wherever. You might be out with your family looking at fireworks, whatever you're doing, wherever you find yourself. And if you don't catch it on the live, you catch it on the replay. We need to have a discussion. Hey, Alina, how are you? That's right, baby. We need to have we got to have some education, honey. Today is school, because, well, every day is school at the Dopest Nerd, but today is really school. And here's why. First and foremost, we owe a debt to Haitians. I don't know why people, so let me just do the housekeeping duties. You know what we always say. When you come on in, be sure to like. Make sure you throw up a like so that the algorithm knows what we're doing is good here and they can share it out to other people. You know what we say? We don't wear shoes in the house. So take your shoes off at the door, grab a pair of fuzzy socks out of the basket, jump on the couch, throw your feet up, stay a while, get comfortable. We going to school here, especially for, there's a lot of videos out there. First and foremost, let me just start out by saying, sac passe to the Haitian massive. Hey, sac passe, baby. Haiti, chérie. Now, I am Trini. However, Haitians are a part of our diasporic the Black diaspora. They were the first free Black nation post-colonial slavery. Let's get that right. Let's make sure y'all know. You have in America, and I thought it was important for me to do this today. Shout out to everybody that's here. Hold on. Let me do a little roll call real quick before I go deep, because I'm about to go deep. Y'all always say you get an education when you come on my channel. You about to get an education like you never had one today, because Americans are deluded. And they're out of pocket. And they need to understand that on this particular day, this 4th of July, you wouldn't have the independence of America. You would not have been able to establish your sovereignty and win the Revolutionary War had it not been for the Haitian militia. So let me y'all gonna clock this tea right now. Okay? Y'all about to clock this tea. Like I said before, shout out to Fashawn, Alina, Mocha, hey Nisi Poo, Tony G, Margie, hey everybody, Ale, Barbara, Elaine, French Connection Mama, and everybody else, those people that are in the nosebleeds, in the bushes, my neurodivergence, the people on the couch, in the bed, at work, wherever you are. Let's get into this. Now, let me give you a little of my backstory. I am a Brooklyn Trini girl from Crown Heights, Brooklyn. However, my mother was new to this United States of America. Hey, Sheila. And she had the blessing. My entire family and downline lineage was blessed because my mother met an amazing woman to babysit her children while she worked full-time and went to school. That woman's name was Irene Saint Victor, or Irene Saint Victor. She didn't just babysit me. See, she had me in the crib. Since me and my sister grew up in the crib, okay? All of us grew up together. We slept in the same crib together. This is from, as they say, from the soil, okay? I grew up with my Haitian massive deep, baby, deep. In fact, every part of my life was informed by the connection my mother made to Irene Saint Victor, may she rest in peace, my godmother, my marraine. Yes. Clock that tea. Through this amazing woman, I gained an amazing bonus family, and we learned everything, okay? First of all, shout out to my godmother who said, if you can't say it in French, you can't have it. I went a whole lot of hungry days. She taught me principle upon principle. Like there was a show back in the days called Zoom. It was a little zoom, 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 zoom. And somebody on Zoom made a peanut butter and banana sandwich. And I said, I want that. And she said, no. She used to call me Nunny. My nickname was Nanny. Nunny, no. I said, I want that. She said, you don't like that. I said, I love it. It's my favorite. You know what kids say? That's my favorite. I love it. Baby, she smoothed down that peanut butter and sliced them bananas ever so carefully and put it and said, eat it now. I started to eat it first bite. I was like, ugh. She said, I said, I don't want it no more. I turned around, tried to walk away. She said, where do you think you're going? Baby, let me tell you right now. Do not ask for something you don't want to see through. Oh, baby, I sat in that kitchen with my godmother as she drank her Café Bustelo in her little pot, very black, while she made Dewey Noir. And I had to eat that sandwich, okay? She taught me foundational principles I never departed from. Say what you mean what you say. You better listen carefully. That's why I never play games when I speak to people. When they, my godmother say, if you can, you can hear. I don't play with people. Yes, the Café Bustelo that give your chest hairs a perm. Okay? That's right. If you didn't eat it, you didn't want food at all. And it wasn't abuse, it was love. It was to teach you waste not, want not. So this amazing woman acted as a de facto mother for me and my sister, so my mother could go to school and get her education, okay? This is the old school support system that you could develop, that families could develop. We were all a part of the Caribbean diaspora. No matter what island you were from, it was the entire Caribbean diaspora. And trust me, baby, her whole family lived in that building. Baby, that was my family. We went to an amazing school called the Bilingual Center, Centre Bilingue, or Centro Bilingue. It was the French side, they said, but it was the Haitian side and the Spanish side. And you either took French or Spanish. And I had amazing teachers, and I learned so much, and I built a family, an impenetrable family, who we are still today friends. I am 55. My kids say all the time to me, why do you know people that you were in first and second grade with? Why do you still talk to people you were in the first grade? How is this possible that y'all still know each other? I said, because we went to a school, the building of the school was PS 189, but she started the Bilingual Center elsewhere, and it moved. Once it was a satellite school, and then it moved over to the building, they got their own building, and it was like a magnet school. It was a specialized public school. We had a student in our school, Haitian student, Max Goose. He got perfect score on the SAT. Okay? See, yeah, we come from something. I'm coming to give y'all some education. I've known my whole life that there would be no America, especially no America as you know it, without the Haitian soldiers, the Haitian militia. See, let me give y'all some. We learned amazing names like Toussaint Louverture and Jean-Jacques Dessalines and everything, okay? I'm not telling y'all what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. So let me just give a resounding sac passé to my Haitian massive. Stand up. Haitian. So we've heard of the scourge of violence against all sort of immigrant families in America by the nefarious actions of this dastardly, I won't even call him president, or if he is a president, he's the president-select and not the president-elect. Shout out to Alina. Thank you for starting off the tithes and offerings, my love. Thank you. Thank you for the $2 super chat. She said, thank you for the education. Absolutely, my love. It is my pleasure. It is my pleasure. And here's the thing. I don't like to say melting pot for Sean. Here's why. Because a melting pot connotes everything melding together in a pot, and then you losing your individualism and autonomy. And so not a melting pot. Our incomparable first Black mayor of New York, David Dinkins, said, we are not a melting pot. We are a beautiful mosaic. That means everybody can maintain their autonomy and individuality and what makes them special. And we all come together and we still unite. Thank you, Alina, for the $2 super chat. She said, thank you. She said, thank you for the education. And so let me tell y'all a little story. Because, see, America will have you believe that Haitians don't have any value. Baby, Haitians pay a lot of taxes in this country, okay? Don't nobody work like a Haitian now, okay? Let me tell you that. Caribbean people is going to work down, honey. Work down. It's a little hot in here, you know, those private summers, child. And if please disregard the sounds of all those fireworks outside that are working my nerve, but, you know, I digress. They're busting fireworks. You know, that's not my favorite. PTSD and fireworks don't go together. Let me just say that to y'all. They don't go together at all. Thank you, Margie. Margie said, make sure to share hashtag justice for Natanya Rubin. That's right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. I love my Nerd Herd. Shout out to the Nerd Herd family. Y'all are so amazing and so dope. So let me give y'all a little of this lovely education, because in 17, hold on. In the 1770s, over 500 Haitian warriors from Saint-Domingue, which is Haiti, landed in Savannah, Georgia, to fight the American Revolution. We held the line when America could not, AKA my teacher. Which one of my teachers was that? I'm going to tell you her name just now. You know, it'll slide off my brain sometime. But she told me in the 4th grade that if it were not for the Haitian soldiers, America would have lost the war, the American Revolution. Okay? Gunfires, cannons. Let me read this. And let me credit. Hold on. Bold and Pure by Queen R. From, what is this, TikTok? She said, gunfire, cannons, blood. And it's funny that we hear the rockets' red glare in the background. Gunfire, cannons, blood everywhere, but we didn't back down. We protected America's retreat. We changed history. Haiti spilled blood for America before we even had our own freedom. And when the time came, we fought again and won. In 1804, Haiti became the first Black republic to gain their freedom post-colonial colonialism and colonial slavery. But they don't teach y'all that. Do they tell you that Haitians were warriors? No. But now you know. If you got Haitian blood, you're the descendant of warriors. Walk like it, speak like it, and stand like it. If you go to your emojis, drop a Haitian flag. Drop Haitian flags in the chat. So ICE, and all of them are not federal ICE agents. There are some federal ICE agents, but there are also a deputized group of, Martha Cardile said, I remember my elementary school teachers and my first day of kindergarten. Love your great memory. Absolutely. Absolutely. I had some amazing teachers and educators. Drop them Haitian flags in the chat, y'all. And Madame Jerdy, my 4th grade teacher, Madame Jerdy. Madame Jerdy taught me. First of all, I was in the 4th grade. How old are you in the 4th grade? What? You're 7 in the 2nd grade? 9 years old. I was 9 years old. Madame Jerdy told me about red dye number 5 and red 40 and to stay away from it. I saw her one day. She was taking her medication and she had a pill and she had a cup of milk and she was swishing this cup of milk around. And I said, what are you doing, Madame Jerdy? What's that? And she said, oh, red dye number 5 and red dye 40, stay away from it. It will kill you. And she was rinsing the red dye off the pill before she consumed the pill. And I was like, oh, okay. This was when I was 9. I'm 55. So this is how educated and avant-garde and ahead of their time they were. The principal of that school was Miss Josephine Bruno, aka Joe Bruno. Y'all heard me talk about her before. Let me tell you something. They educated us. I knew back then that the Haitian militia, Haitian military helped America win the Revolutionary War. But America has a history of treating Haiti so poorly. Royal Jenkins said, when I was in the 3rd grade, a Haitian kid went to my school. Let me tell you something. There's a YouTuber who thought he was insulting me. He used to call me a Haitian voodoo priestess with a fake Jamaican accent. That's what he used to call me. I said, boo boo, if you think I'm Haitian, you putting me in good company, because baby, don't nobody rep for theirs like a Haitian rep. And that's what they're doing now. So the the ICE militia, because that's what they are not acting like marshals or whatever their title is. They are acting like a band of bandits, going in, taking people who are hardworking people of this country. This country is built on immigration. A lot of people got it twisted. They think this is an American country that is like, oh, only for a certain demographic. No. The point of entry in America was Ellis Island, where the Statue of Liberty is. And the Statue of Liberty was a beacon of welcoming people to the shores of America. But remember, it was a new nation. Her book says, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. She was called the Colossus in the East River. But people get it twisted. People get amnesia. But please, check yourself before you wrecketh yourself, because misinformation is bad for your health. Now they want to come throw Haitians out. Well, the island of Haiti, people like to say, oh, Haiti's the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. No, it's not. Haiti has gold reserves. You wouldn't believe it. Haiti is a wealthy island nation, okay? It is on a landmass. They share an island. It's Haiti and Dominican Republic. Many Dominican people in Dominican Republic are Haitians, but they won't admit it because they love to say, I know black, I Dominican. I know black, I Dominican. You would want to be associated with Haitians. Haitians fought a military, the French military from France, led by Napoleon Bonaparte. Notoriously a euphemism in today's society for a short man with a complex, Napoleonic syndrome, because he was a short man with a complex. He felt insecure. He felt overlooked, but he was a military general of what was considered to be the impenetrable French military. You know, they like to put these names: the unsinkable, the impenetrable, the unsinkable Titanic. Hence, the Titanic is famous for being sunken. The impenetrable French military. Haiti, I think they said it was 3,000 Haitians in the swamp and the bush whipped Napoleon's impenetrable 30,000 soldiers and sent whatever was left of them packing back to France. Do you want to know why Haiti is regarded as the poorest island in the Western Hemisphere? Because France, with their fake so-called ownership, has been milking Haiti dry since time immemorial. Ever since they sent Napoleon's army back, defeated, stomped down to the ground, Zopound man down. Okay? When you run up with the Zopound, you're going to have a man down situation. And just like they did with Napoleon's army, they did with ICE. See, ICE has a whole lot of deputized, racist MAGA so-and-so. I'll call them so-and-sos. Hey, everybody. And they have self-deputized. There's a lot of people, they're coming with militia masks. They don't have on any, what you notice about any law enforcement bureau in America, you will see them wear their Kevlar mesh jackets or their windbreakers, but they have identifying acronyms on the back, whether it be police, whether it be FBI, CIA, Homeland Security, whoever, ICE, they all got letters on their back. But now you got this band of bandits who are showing up in the tan, what do they call it? Military getups, or whether they are even official ICE, because some of them were. I mean, I literally saw the video. But But they're showing up to places thinking that they're going to knock on your door without a warrant and strong arm people. They're going to come into neighborhoods with this kind of presence where they're centering themselves above the people in the community and of the community, uninvited, and asking people, show me your papers, show me your papers. Like so many of the Latinos just went with them, kidnapped and sent. First of all, if you let me just highlight the hypocrisy, the blatant hypocrisy. If you don't want people from other countries coming to America, how are you taking people from America and sending them to other countries? Not their island of origin, not their nations of origin, El Salvador. What? You've created a holding cell, a jail, a detention center in El Salvador. For those of you who don't have eyes to see and ears to hear, what they're doing in El Salvador is they are creating their new enslaved people. Okay? Trust me, those people that they are snatching out of jobs, school graduations, classroom, they are making their new enslaved. Listen, they are taking people because there's no one to plow their fields. There's no one to pick their cotton. There's no one to pick their watermelons and all that. Everybody that they're snatching are the new enslaved people. But see, they thought they was going to come over here and do that to Haitians. First of all, let me tell you, I told you, Haitians, Alina said in LA, a Mexican-American citizen got arrested just for not having her papers on her. They're creating new laws to violate our rights. See, those are not new laws, unfortunately. Oh, it's Miss Teddy said, I went to PS 189. Shout out Miss Bruno, the mini building, Monsieur Ponfil, Madame Desjardins. Wow. Hey, it's Miss Teddy. How you doing? I went to 189 too. I'm one of the original students when we were in the small building. Oh my gosh. What year? What year did you graduate? That's so dope. Look at that. We everywhere. PS 189, Bilingual Center. We everywhere, baby. We everywhere. So it is unbelievable that people think that they are just going to enter a community without identifying themselves. Or me too. I in early 80s, I graduated in 84. Excuse me. 83. Was it 83 or 84? Whatever. 83 or 84. One of them two. I forgot. It's been a long time. But they think that they're going to introduce themselves to people's communities, go into schools, go into restaurants where people are currently employed, making a living, taking care of themselves, and abscond with people's body and persons. And people are willingly going with them. You are being kidnapped and willingly going with them. Listen here, baby. Caribbean people don't play that. And Brooklyn people sure don't play that. And when you mix the two, and you create Brooklyn Caribbeans, you think you gonna get, baby, honey, Haitians said, sometimes you gotta pop out and show ninjas. And that's exactly what they did. I'm going to pull up the video footage and show you. They've been snatching that video down, baby. Snatching that video down everywhere. Ooh, honey. So for those who just entered the room, let me reiterate to you, because Americans have this whole thing where they've always, I just told y'all last night, they tried to, was it last night or the night before, when we were talking about the criteria of when Americans thought that they were going to flex on Haitians back in the 80s. When the HIV environment came around and they tried to use, they had a classification of what predisposed people. They said homosexuality, they said IV drug user, they said through blood and body fluid transmissions. They said if you're a hemophiliac and you get regular blood transfusions, and if you're Haitian. The dumbest ish you could have ever said, baby. They should have known back then Haitians wasn't playing, baby. Haitians shut New York City down. I'm talking with foot traffic completely converged on the Brooklyn Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge. And on both bridges, walked all the way from Brooklyn to the United Nations and shut shit down. They had to literally take that designation off, because how is a nationality a predisposition for what we now know y'all made in a laboratory and injected people with willingly? You gotta, if you don't fight for something, you fall for anything. Haitians already let y'all know we wasn't nothing to play with. And by virtue of the fact that y'all went all over the world spreading colonialism and enslavement, and Haitians said, nah, son, this don't work for us. While other nations were still in slavery for a very long time after that. Haitians said in 1804, hell nah, son, we don't ramp like that. They sent Napoleon's army flying. They eviscerated Napoleon's army, annihilating a majority of the 30,000 soldiers sent to take over and dominate Haiti and the Caribbean. They beat them mercilessly by using the swamp and their environment, their connection, their spiritual connections that they did not let go of when you tried to strip them from their homelands and take away their culture. They didn't give it up. They didn't give it up. And Haitians are tough, baby. Ain't nothing about Haitians soft. Ain't never been. They were the first Black independent society post-colonial slavery. Why do you think that there was going to be something to play with in the Western Hemisphere? So they helped you fight in the Revolutionary War. 500 Haitian warriors from Saint-Domingue landed in Savannah, Georgia, and held the line when America could not, and fought the American Revolution and helped America win its independence. But y'all got a short memory. Y'all got a short memory. Then you went over to Haiti and eviscerated their nation state and their island, a sovereign nation. You went over there, you planted your own, leaders in Haiti to eviscerate the people. You pillaged and plundered along with France. France charged Haiti for the loss of their 30,000 military men. Charged them forever and a day. And that is why Haiti appears to be one of the poorest countries in the Western Hemisphere. They're not. They have natural gold reserves. If you really want to be true, Haiti is Wakanda. Vibranium, while it may not be called vibranium, the actual mineral, is in Haiti. That is why they eviscerate Haiti and try to disrupt and dismantle any regime that is democratically elected by Haitians. They want to put their own figureheads in. And when they put a figurehead in, they take advantage of Haiti. The Clintons, infamous for eviscerating Haiti. The Clintons are infamous for eviscerating Haiti. See, they try to destabilize this independent nation because they were so close to America, and they knew Haiti was nothing to play with. They knew that they were not. Well, listen, Haitians are not having it. Haitians are not having it. Absolutely. It was the 80s was the accusation of AIDS, the 90s, the Haitian bullying area through high schools and junior high schools along the East Coast. But listen, Haitians never went for it. I grew up with Haitians, I told you. We used to be in the schoolyard like, zoop, doop, Kembela, Sekiyes, Sauma. Yeah. Mm-hmm. In fact, my granddaughter's family is Haitian. See, Haitians is all up and through my family. That's right, baby. Jean-Jacques Dessalines, Toussaint Louverture, and all the great military men of Haitian. And all of the nameless, faceless, countless people whose names were never known, but fought that good fight. So y'all thought y'all was going to run up in Little Haiti, a.k.a. Flatbush, Brooklyn, and walk in and be like, show me your papers. Really? Well, while Haitians was minding their business in Brooklyn, in Flatbush, minding their business, just working and doing their thing. Uh-oh, I think I just heard gunshots outside. Not right here where my neighbors are busting fireworks, but in the distance, I heard a succession of gunshots. This is not good for PTSD. I just want y'all to know this. They like to destabilize Haiti because Haiti is a strong nation. The people are strong. The spirit of the people are strong. See, I keep telling people, you cannot eviscerate people who are not afraid to die for liberty. You can't. There's no way. So y'all thought y'all was just going to walk up in Flatbush and start walking up to Black people and saying, show me your papers. Literally racially profiling people, because Flatbush is made up of all kinds. Flatbush is made up of all kinds of Caribbean diaspora, plus African, plus Black Americans, just everybody. So you just randomly were picking people out like, oh, he looks Haitian. I'll say, where are your papers? Oh, he looks Haitian. I'll say, you went up in there and them Haitians came out in mass and male whoppeth that ass. And you got what you deserve. Beat them down to the ground. And I made a video because they are snatching those videos offline. If you Google Haitians versus ICE, baby, oh, Joy to the World said, my man and my cat both have PTSD. It's going to be a long night. Indeed, because they go too far with it. I don't understand. I don't know why you need to pop fireworks all. Joy to the World said, what did I miss? I'm in Flatbush. Baby, the Haitians versus ICE. I said, if you romp with the Zoe Pound, it's going to be a man down. Let me show y'all the video because these suckers have been snatching those videos down. They don't want people to see the video. They really have tried to do this disinformation campaign where they don't want people to see the videos. But I had to screen record a video because they're trying to take them down. So there's other, somebody dropped the fair use thing in the chat. Let's see now. Let me send this to my computer. I'm going to send another picture to my computer also of the Haitian militia. Little Haiti in Flatbush, like even further down, all throughout Flatbush. Baby, I'm going to show y'all some video footage of how the Haitians came out, honey. He said sometime you got to pop out and show ninjas. And they molly-whopped ICE's behind. So now ICE had to go running, got their feelings hurt. Hold on one second, okay. Got their little feelings hurt. But you know, it is what it is. If you don't stand up, you will get dragged. And people don't have any respect for the autonomy of individuals. People want to rob you of your autonomy, rob you of your independence, rob you of your freedom. And it's just not okay. It's not okay. But we're going to make sure that this is known. We're not going to play these games. We're not going to partake in this nonsense where people push and espouse a narrative that one group of people are worth less than another group of people. We're not going to do that. Reparation said every category of Black people have been deported from the very onset of the deportations. It is so sad that some Africans sold out and told on each other. We need to get it together like Haiti. It's unfortunate. And it's because there's a group of people who feel like they just have to grin and bear it, go with the you know, any authoritative voice that comes to them and says, do this. Some people just bow down and go. I've never been that type of person. I've never been. I don't care if you are if you are an official authoritarian person. I still have rights, inalienable rights to free speech, liberty, life, and justice. And I'm going to get mine. You're not going to just come here and say, come outside. I told y'all before, there's something called the castle doctrine. All these people, ICE is knocking on their door. The Mexicans are open. The Latinos are opening their door. What are you opening your door for? Because somebody who looks official is at your door? So what? If you took the time to understand that there are rights to be had, and the way due process works in America, due process says you are entitled to the fullness of due process once you are in America. It doesn't matter if you're not legal. You will go through the process of due process, and then if they determine at such a time that you are here without authority or a violation of this, that, then they have the option of putting you in a detention, ICE detention, and repatriating you back to your homeland. But if you have asylum, legal asylum, which is what the majority of the Haitians have, legal asylum, then you should not be able to just snatch people off the street and send them anywhere. Second of which is most of them work here, work on jobs where they pay taxes and never reap the benefits, never get a tax return, nothing, because they're paying into the system. You have lots of people who know somebody might not have their papers or whatever, and they still employ them, but you never see a sweep of the corporations that hire undocumented employees. How come? How come you never see a sweep of the American companies that hire undocumented people, immigrants that come to this country to work? They willfully take their money, all of that money that's not claimed in taxes, all of that money they're taking for, FICA and all this stuff. Where's it going to? Mm-hmm. See, they pick and choose when they want immigrants. Americans have fought the good fight, especially Black Americans have fought the good fight so that all the other immigrants that have come to the country could have the rights that they have. People fall for the okie doke. What you got to know by now, especially because we have social media, is that they have always used psychological warfare to divide every group. They tell Caribbeans when they come to America, don't mess with and Africans, don't mess with the Black Americans. They lazy, they don't want no jobs. The most educated person in the world is a Black American woman. The most degreed person per capita in the world, not just the nation, is a Black woman. But they push the narrative to divide and conquer. A house divided cannot stand. So they divide and conquer. I know Black women and Black people that have 3 PhDs or 2 PhDs and an MBA. I personally know people. I personally in my life, and my mother and lots of other people say that technically I am one of them. I should have my PhD by now because I'm clearly intelligent enough to do so. Trust the envelope. And y'all know that. I'm not telling you nothing you don't know. Y'all listen to this intelligence. However, I personally know at least 75 people in my life that are PhD and post-PhD holders. I do. In my personal circle of people that I know. So this whole narrative that Black people are lazy and they're not doing anything is garbage. Thank you, Martha Cardill. Martha said, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Thank you. Say it again. You said highest IQ is young boy. Who's that? I don't know who young boy is. He what is he, an artist or something? King Infamous TV said, finally you will see justice and our hashtag the dopest nerd. We need our reparations. Absolutely. Thank you, baby. Asheo. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. King Infamous TV said, YouTube, stop blocking her content. Please tell him. Stop hiding me. Stop trying to minimize my numbers. Let me be. Let me fly free. Let me do me. Don't try to put a hidden hand to hold me back. I've told as many as I can not to open doors. Yeah. Shelly Morales said, I've told as many as I can not to open doors and make them show a warrant. You have to. You can't just let someone who is dressed in an authoritative manner, wearing fatigues, show up at your door and say, open the door, and then you just open the door. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. You cannot do it. Come on, Jen J. Jen J dropping the Creole first. Act like you know. He said highest IQ is a young Black boy. I forgot his name. I was typing too fast. Okay. Somebody find his name for me. Let me put his name in the chat. They try to push this narrative. But what you have to remember is you have to understand people's history. Haitians are not known to be people who back down in the face of adversity. America, on this yet to be United States of America, on this particular day, in the Day of Independence, you have this Day of Independence because of the 500 Haitian soldiers that came to the shores of Savannah, Georgia, and helped you fight to win the Revolutionary War. It has to be said. They don't teach y'all this in school. They don't teach y'all any of this information. And what happens is you then walk around and espouse narratives that have been told to you that like Haitian people are not good. What? America would not be celebrating stars and stripes and bombs bursting in air if it were not for that Haitian military in the 1700s to come and save you. And yet you've done everything to eviscerate the country, the island nation. Why? Why is that? You have eviscerated all of these other immigrants' countries, and then you get mad when they come here to seek asylum or a better opportunity for their families. How about America mind the business that pays them and stay out of everybody's country? That's what the problem is. You almost invite people here when you go and say, that's right. You invite people here when you go to their countries and destabilize their countries, eviscerate the life, take out the democratically elected president, put in your figurehead president, who then further eviscerates the people and the natural resources and leave the people starving. So other people find, they say, like every other immigrant in the world who came to this new nation, tell them, Jen J said, let them know we are free because of Haiti. We are. And I thought it fitting. I could have sat down on my couch and finished watching Z YouTube with all them stories out there, child. She said, Martha said the highest reported IQ for a young Black boy is 162, achieved by Ramarni Wilfred at the age of 11. Hashtag citing her sources from the Google. Thank you, Martha. I love my nerd herd, I promise you. Shalom Shaw said, because of that substance that is in their mountains that they want to take for jet fuel. Yeah, Haiti is the land of Wakanda. Haiti has vibranium. While the name is not actually vibranium, baby. Joy to the World said, honestly, I was born and raised in Brooklyn, which is basically the Caribbean. It is. Listen, de facto is, sure enough is. It's Miss Teddy said, at Jean-Jay, ou Haitien et Creole Louisiana. Y'all ain't know your girl could, y'all know I'm multilingual. Royal Jenkins said, invasions, sanctions, and war. That's what America does to other countries. Indeed. And now they are trying to create and get into the middle of a war. And people are like, oh, why is America? And, you know, all the MAGA people are just like, oh, they let Trump gaslight them. Oh, I would never start a war. If you put Kamala Harris in, we'll be at war in 6 months. Meanwhile, Trump was at war in 5. He swore up and down, no war. We don't want war. We don't want war. But that was the lie. See, you can always tell a liar by what they say. The fact that he kept hearkening on war, the reason war is so important to him is because if America is at war, the president has the right to suspend a presidential election. This man don't plan on going nowhere. But the God I serve, because he already dang near 100 and out of his mind already. So, no shade, but who said that? Who said that? I don't know. She said, Amazing Love said he is a young man now. His name is Ramarni Wilfred. Joy to the World said, Caribbeans of all kinds, you name it, the people are here. That's right. And Jean Jay said, it's Miss Teddy, we. Martha Cardile said, shaking my head. Joy to the World said 5 months, not 6. Amazing Love said he's still lying. He signs a lot of bills this weekend today. See, he signs all those bills because he ain't doing no work. He just play golf and sign executive orders. The spirit of Dessalines has risen. Absolutely. Absolutely it is. And I knew all of these names as a child. Like when everybody was in school for Black History Month writing the same old reports on, and no disrespect to our greats, everybody was writing Martin Luther King, Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman. Who else? When all of the mainstream students were writing that for Black History Month, we were writing Toussaint Louverture. We were writing of all the Haitian greats. We were writing all the Latino. That's what we did. That's what we did. It's Miss Teddy said, you pronounce it very well. Listen, my mama is Haitian. My godmother is Haitian. I grew up around Haitians my whole life. I used to go out the back of the mini building back in the days when we was little and sneak to the corner store and get pain jambon. Yes. And cola lakai. Yes. I always tell people I'm Trinja Haitian. I've always said that. I'm Trinja Haitian. Trinidadian, Jamaican, Haitian, and American. But Trinja Haitian. That's what I rep because that is from the soil. That is from the soil. I have a whole litany of Haitian family. Shalom Sir said folks make more money off of war, stock and companies that they create ammo, weapons. Exactly. Yes, they make money off of war, but not only that. Trump wants to be the last president. And he understands that if America is engaged in a war, the president has the right to suspend elections. It is not his intention to change the administration. That is why they've eviscerated the government. If anybody would have told you in friggin' October of 2024 that a president could go in and totally eviscerate federal employees, the federal government, fire people, end agencies, and do all, you would be like absolutely unequivocally alive. There's no such thing. If Obama did any of those things, y'all would have lost y'all rabbit ass mind by now. Oh, this country would have been overthrown. But they all sit back, and then the Democrats ain't no better because these suckers sitting back like they can't do nothing. Impeach this sucker. Impeach him. Now, I get why they want to slow their roll on impeachment, because Trump will soon be annihilated. And then they want to give him time to, for nature to take its course on that ass. But if you just impeach him, then J.D. Vance will ascend to the presidency, and he's a worse version of Trump. And he's younger, so he has more time. And given the same opportunity to suspend elections, baby, we will never be out of this mess. Never. Real Peso said, I've been told people Trump is going to be the last president. Well, that is what he is absolutely hoping for. What happened to Trump's ear? What happened to his ear? Something happened to him? What, when he got shot? Alina said, Natanya, I was saying this a few months ago. Also, the astrology podcast predicted it as well through transits. I knew when he wanted that third presidency that he'd create a war. Absolutely. It's the only way to outstand a president in the United States of America can only have 2 goals at presidency. You can only have 2 terms. He understands that. So, and typically in a second term, a president is considered a lame duck president, especially towards the end of his presidency, because you have a limit on what you can do. The next administration is coming soon, and you can't do but so much. And so they consider it a lame duck. They pass a lot of things that are lame duck things because you're at your second term. You can't come again and actualize all the things you want to pass. Royal Jenkins said Trump threw paper towels when Puerto Rico was having a hurricane. I remember that vividly. And one of the people caught it. Like, you cannot let people come play in your face. Baby, ICE took their behind to, he got shot in the ear. ICE took their behind to Flatbush, Brooklyn, aka Little Haiti, and Haiti said, Zo pound, Iceman down. Hey, play if you want to. And you're going to get more of that when you go there because they're not having it, nor should they. Matter of fact, let me show y'all the video. It's a little short. Hopefully it will show because, sometimes some of these don't show. Well, I could show you this in the meanwhile.
Some ice up in New York. How a bag of Haitians literally when ice come, fi come drop them and dip them say, oh, how we are well, so bam, bam, boom, baf, koof. In a Jesus and peace, Haiti, a son of one.
And then they always use our own Black people to push them in.
ICE went to Brooklyn to mess with the Haitians, try to detain them, but the Haitian community was like, we're not having it.
Fair use.
They were fighting and tussling, boots on the ground. It was kind of comical to watch. It just shows that you're stronger in numbers. Don't mess with the Haitians. And Brooklyn's my old stomping ground. Don't mess with the Brooklynites, and definitely don't mess with the Haitians.
Okay, so the latest on the ICE saga. So ICE went to Brooklyn to try and deport Haitians. Now, if you guys don't know, I am a specialist English teacher. This means that at least 30% of my students are refugees. So I teach English to refugees, specifically from Haiti, but also Burundi, as well as the Democratic Republic of Congo. So I work for different organizations, specifically in the United States, as well as Australia. Now, this is obviously quite interesting to me as somebody who teaches Haitians, you know. Now, I think that from a normal citizen point of view, without me being a teacher, this shows unity. You know, I think the Latinos have been extremely laid back, extremely scared in their retaliation of all of this. But I mean, one thing that the US is forgetting, or one thing that ICE is forgetting, is that Haitians know how to fight. I think that this is a lesson on unity, just in general. It's a lesson on, you know, unity and the power of people, because ICE was definitely outnumbered by the Haitians in Brooklyn.
Some fucking great news today. Fucking great news. So ICE decided to go to Brooklyn earlier, and they decided, you know, to go into a random neighborhood and try to play snatchies with some Haitians. Well, all I gotta say is that's what the fuck I'm talking about. Props to my Haitians. They fucking whooped ICE's ass. They took them down. They said, fuck, nah, you not doing this in my neighborhood. Get the fuck out of here. And that's what I'm talking about, guys. Us as Latinos, we need to stick together and we need to fight ICE. We need to fight. Especially if you guys are in the position to do so. If you guys are like legal here, you know, that's even more the reason. At least for me, I would say. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. But once again, props to the Haitian community. Love to see that. Props to Brooklyn, New York for standing up to ICE. Share the video for awareness, my loves. This is fantastic news. Be safe out there, my loves. I love you. Great. Fantastic.
ICE getting their ass whooped, baby, in Brooklyn by the Haitian community. Y'all didn't learn your lesson from your ancestors when they got whooped by the Haitian slaves back in the 1800s? Uh-oh!
ICE went to Brooklyn and Haitians beat them up. Mexicans, learn how to fight. All right? Y'all sit there and let these people put cuffs on you and talk about you want someone to fight for you. Haitians know how to fight back. They don't even need us. That's right.
So have y'all seen the videos of the Haitians supposedly beating down ICE in Brooklyn? I don't know if it's true or not, but if it is true, didn't nobody give them ICE agents a history lessons before they went fucking with them Haitians? They ain't tell them to go ask the French about them Haitians.
There you go.
They ain't see Bad Boys 2 when Mike Lowry and Marcus went up in them Haitians' house.
Who that? Who in my house? I'm the devil. Who's asking? The devil is not welcome. Yeah.
Them ICE agents didn't know that them Haitians have ingrained in their DNA the fighting of oppressors.
That's
them
right.
damn Haitians don't play no games. Coming in their neighborhood, trying to deport them? Nah. Nah. I done heard a couple people say that it's not true, that them old videos circulating. I don't know, but I just know that Haitians ain't to be fucked with. Period. When you fuck around, you find out, especially fucking with Haitians.
You have ever been to the Labor Day parade in New York? You know Haitians run that shit every single fucking year. This is no surprise to me. Absolutely no surprise to me. This is what everybody needs to do. Put your foot down.
I'm so freaking proud of the Haitian community. This is how you do it. If we all did exactly what they did, we could do this. We got to stand together. All I've been saying is fight back. Do not let them get you. ICE agents aren't ICE agents. If they were actually ICE agents, if they're just people with masks and just doing this shit because they can, then why are we not able to fight back? I know why we can't, because everybody's afraid they're going to get in trouble. They're going to go to jail. They're going to get arrested. Something's going to happen to their family. They're going to lose their job, and then they're not going to be able to feed their family. They're going to lose their house. Basically, one wrong move, and the whole fucking house of cards falls down. But what's better? Being homeless and jobless and possibly not being able to take care of your family, or being picked up and taken to a concentration camp, a detention center, fucking whatever you want to call it. We all know what it is. Not everybody's there yet, but It's fucked up.
Yeah. I just saw a crazy fucking video. Apparently, ICE agents thought that they was about to come to Brooklyn to just go ahead and snatch up some Haitian people like they've been doing to Mexican people. Y'all got to see the video. The Haitian people was whooping they ass. They was not going for it. They said, not ours, not today. Y'all, the video is crazy. The way they're jumping on them. It's y'all should have known better. Y'all came to Brooklyn and decided y'all wanted to sit there and snatch Haitian people up off the street like y'all been doing in all those other states with the Mexicans and the Hispanic. Y'all thought that was gonna go down in New York City? What the fuck is wrong with y'all? And that's exactly the way that the rest of y'all should be fucking acting. Y'all are Hispanic people out there just letting them snatch y'all up off the street and y'all not fighting back. Y'all just complying. Like, fight back. Nah, I bet you they think twice about trying that shit again, huh? Yeah.
So check me out. ICE went to Brooklyn and tried to deport Haitian community, people in the Haitian community, and they weren't going. And if you look at the videos that's flooding social media, one of the things I want the black people to realize is that this is how we're supposed to navigate anybody coming into our communities and beating down, dragging and hanging and all these other crazy stuff that's going on across the United States. This is how we're supposed to be utilizing our unity to prevent this stuff from happening. They're not going back into that neighborhood without having some form or fashion of military equipment and gear and whatever the case may be. They're going to have to really get the whole 1% of that city or state to go into that neighborhood. Now, this is what I want to bring to everybody's attention. The United States have the policing of maybe close to 1% of the population. And if you're talking about 1% of the population, we're not even talking about 300,000, 400,000 individuals across the whole United States as police officers. You see what I'm saying? We got 43 to 48 million black individuals walking on this continent, or, North America. Anyway, so my question is this. Why are we letting this small percentage of people
I agree.
dictate how we move?
And Haitian people know how to fight. Duh. It's literally in their DNA. You didn't know that Haitian people could fight? So that's why I'm not surprised that Manushka and Jean-Baptiste and Kevin, they were beating up that ICE agent. Now, I did not see the video, but people said that Manushka was scrubbing the ground with that ICE agent. And they said Jean-Baptiste came around the corner and he gave that ICE agent an uppercut. And then Kevin kicked the shit out of the ICE agent. Now, I did not see the video. Apparently, the video was down. I don't know what happened to the video, but that's what the streets are saying. But I'm not really surprised. Like, it's in their DNA. And like, if you're Cuban or Mexican or, you're scared of ICE, you should probably get a Haitian friend. Your Haitian friend will probably protect you. And that's when I knew that Haitians knew how to fight. So I'm not surprised. Did y'all see the video? I'm trying to find the video. I can't find it.
Yo, Mo, y'all seen the Haitians versus ICE? No, have y'all seen the Haitians versus ICE? I'm talking about in Brooklyn, Lil Haiti, Flatbush to be exact. Oh yeah, nah, I could have told y'all this. They not playing none of that shit. All that ICE. They don't even play with nobody named ICE, bro. There's none of that, twin. I could have told y'all that, but y'all could have saved the trip. Word. That was never happening, twin. That was never happening, bro. No funny shit, bro. I don't think anybody understand, bro. Haitians been fighting their whole existence, bro. Like, I don't think y'all understand that.
ICE came and you back, yo. We whooped that ass. Yo,
that right there is that right there is AI. They don't waste no damn time. How they get an AI video? My God. They don't waste no time. That was an AI video. Hold on, let me stop it because I don't want it to play something else. I had to mute. I ended up, so the lovely video we watched yesterday night, I ended up having to allow YouTube to trim the video and edit out the movies we watched together because there was a I was trying to avoid. That's what I was trying to avoid, because even a spillage of a video into goodbye Siri. a little spillage of someone else's video into your thing and they'll try to strike your channel. Mocha said, it brings me back to Ghislaine Maxwell's father being the procurement for American textbooks. Insane, but makes it so much sense. Yeah, the McGraw-Hill textbooks is owned by Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell's father. So all of the, and he's from Paris, from Europe. All of the information that we are given and is funneled into the schools is the narrative that they want to espouse. I keep telling y'all, whatever the mainstream narrative has been educationally and pushed forth in society your whole life is the lie. The mainstream narrative is the lie. All it takes is a rudimentary search of information and the truth is being exposed like crazy. If you are in a major metropolitan city, and not even a major metropolitan city, because I'm seeing YouTube or people going around to, in Nebraska, in Minnesota, in all these different states. If you go to your courthouse or your downtown area where they have all those old pre-war looking buildings, look at the engraved etchings in the buildings. We've been lied to. Those are Tartarian buildings, the Tartarian Empire. Don't believe the lie. We had a mud flood. There was a reset. The history that you know, there's a lot of information that has come out about Cabbage Patch Kids. Remember how you get a Cabbage Patch Kid and then they would give you the birth certificate for the Cabbage Patch Kid and there was a footprint and a fingerprint on the back of that Cabbage Patch Kid? Well, a lady found her old Cabbage Patch Kid birth certificate. She's an adult from when she was a child, and she put it in the picture image into AI and said, is this a fake thing? And it said, no, based on the striations of the foot, it's an actual child's footprint. And so now everybody's like, well, where's the children for the feet? America has a long history of, in the World's Fair, where they had what they called incubator babies, whole bunch of babies that were supposedly orphans, and they used to put them on display like, everything was, people were put on display so you could ogle act them like it was a circus. Black people were put on display. America has a very sick history, Colonialists stop at nothing to amuse and appease themselves, and they will do it at the expense of everyone, like they did to Sarah Bartman, the Black woman with the ample posterior, trying to say it as not, with the big butt and a very full Africanoid black body. And they used to put her on display like she was a freak show. So white women and white men could come and fetishize her and look at her and poke her and touch her body. They've been doing that to us since time immemorial, and it's not cool. It's not cool. We have to understand that there is a truth, and they haven't only lied to Black people, they have lied to white people as well. Everybody needs to know this history because the mainstream narrative is the lie. Amazing Love said, Obama said that months ago. What if it was him doing what the orange dude is doing? He said, I would have been impeached. It's the truth. And there's a video of him saying it. It's the truth. Obama couldn't have got away with not one of these things. Do you not remember when Obama was president? Michelle came to one of the events and she wore a sleeveless dress and America lost their mind that they had to look at the shoulders of a Black woman? Y'all don't remember that? Meanwhile, Melania was a whole corn star, and she has nude images out there in the internet doing lascivious acts. Your first lady was a corn star. She called herself a model, escort model, because that's what they call it. See, they change the words around every few years, and so the narrative changes. It's just like with the case, with the trial, with Puffy trial. They say, oh, that was just DV. It wasn't sex trafficking. Well, sex trafficking, all they did was change the title. Had they said pimping, he would have been convicted because that's what he was doing. He was pimping women out to other men for his pleasure. Had they termed it, but y'all like to change the name of everything every few years. But I digress. That's for another video. Jen J said, at Mocha B, that's deep right there. It is. Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Ghislaine Maxwell, aka Epstein's right-hand woman, her dad, that's what their wealthy empire is from, the McGraw-Hill textbooks in school, all over the United States. Every textbook your kids had in their hand was as a result of Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Epstein's right-hand woman. That's to tell you how deep this thing goes. Shalom Shaw said, at Amazing Love, he did say that. Agent Art is doing all kinds of stunts in office. Yeah, he is pulling stunts left, right, and center, honey. My God. Right Sound Studio said, YouTube acting really weird. I guess you talking facts. Absolutely. They don't want y'all to notice. For those who just entered the chat, let me reiterate. Let me go wheel and come again from the top. ICE agents went to Flatbush, Brooklyn, in an attempt to abscond with Haitian people and take them to those. Because make no mistake, when you hear them taking people on planes and dropping them off in El Salvador, they are dropping them to a concentration camp. They are getting ready to enslave all those people and make them the new enslaved people. Make them pick the fields, make them pick the cotton, make them pick the fruit, make them plow the fields. They want their fruits, but they don't want them homeland. They want them to come from El Salvador. And the rusty president of El Salvador that made that agreement with Trump, you's a rusty, you's a dirty, crumb snatching, under the table, yellow belly, foul ass ninja. And your comeuppance will rain down on you like it ain't no. Your people should vote you out of office because what you're doing is despicable, absolutely reprehensible. Partaking in this stuff, that's what the problem with Latinos is. He is not any different from the, oh my God, 1, 2, 3, 4, I will vote for Donald Trump. Yeah, he's no different than that. The same ones that was ready to throw their own sister, cousin, mother, grandma out so that they can have a white adjacency. And the same white people that finesse their ass, Trump literally finessed and went over there. Listen, I'm going to get rid of these black people. You guys come and vote with me. I'm telling you, listen, you have asylum. You're safe. Don't worry. We're not messing with y'all. We want them out of here. Come vote with us. Y'all didn't take your time to do enough study and history to know they can't send us nowhere. They can't send us nowhere. But y'all was so willing to throw somebody under the table for your own invitation to the table. The difference is we don't need invitation to their table. We make our own table. We got our own tables. Y'all wanted to sit at their table. Meanwhile, when they invite you in a room, you think they invite you to sit at the table. They inviting you to serve at the table, to wait on the table, to take the cups and go bring the coffee and the pastries. They don't respect you. And when we tried to warn you, you laughed in our face like, get out of here. Y'all just jealous. But look what you ended up with. Reparations said we should make soup jumu to honor the ancestors so they can empower us more. Our appreciation fuels them to rise. Absolutely. Soup jumu is usually made on January 1st. But baby, I'm good for some soup right now. I am in the mood for some soup. We should all make, matter of fact, I'm going to put that collective cauldron call out here. I think we should, in tandem, Haitian Massive everywhere. Any Haitians on this, if you watch it on the replay game, we should designate a day, a calendar day, and all make soup jumu for a mid-year sacrifice to the ancestors to empower them and do a collective bit of energy to help our Haitian brothers and sisters on the shores of America fight the good fight and keep ICE at bay, because what they try to do, baby, that not gonna make it at all. You ain't hear what he said? Manushka was dragging the ICE thing. Let me see if I can pull up the other thing I have here. I have an image, a video file. Let's see. Will it allow me to show it? Hopefully, yes. It's a screen recording. Let's see. Let's see if it allows me to.
Haitians beating up ICE agents.
Let me get this straight, ICE Brigade. You guys went to go do your ICE raid and collect a bunch of Haitians. And you stepped into a neighborhood and you saw this flag. You saw this flag. You see that flag? You saw that flag. And you thought your ass was about to get you thought your ass was about to get fucked up? Are you serious? Do you know what Haitians mean to that flag? Do you know what Haiti means to Pan-African? All I got to say is, listen, I don't know if it was you saw black people on the internet talking shit saying you thought it was about to be division, but if you walk in the neighborhood and you see that flag, okay, that's the whole diaspora coming at your ass, okay?
Part of the video of Haitians.
You see it? They've removed that video. They have removed that video, baby. They don't want that video on the internet. If you go to lots of sites where the videos of the Haitians fighting ICE was, they've snatched them all over TikTok, snatching them down, snatching them, because they don't want y'all to see. They don't want y'all to see what unity look like and what a people united will do against tyranny and oppression. They don't want y'all to get it in your head that it's possible, because they know we outnumber them. The citizenry of America outnumbers the police, just like the gentleman said in the previous video. We outnumber them. You don't have to tolerate it. But y'all be trying to, the reason that Latinos are finding themselves in a quagmire and having such a difficult time is because they were all too willing to throw their own family members out. They literally did the old, that's not me. That's not me, my friend. No, I'm the good one. That one, he's the bad one. Saying shit like, you should go back to your country and apply the legal way. What? You mean the way not that y'all didn't do it? Especially the Cubans. My goodness. The audacity and unmitigated gall. When Castro threw y'all out and y'all were breaking y'all neck and being held in detention in Miami under the highway in that big concentration camp they made for y'all. And okay, granted, it was the 80s and y'all got through that and y'all got your little papers and got your little stuff in order. And now you think you're better than your cousins? Y'all was literally, and some of y'all are some of the same people that was, I will vote. And listen, like I said last night, the song was a bop. Y'all just might want to change them words. Not I will vote for Donald Trump, because baby, the same one singing the songs is out here screaming, you let yourself be used. That was the finesse of all finesses. That was the 52 fake out. You couldn't see the lineup? I saw it. Y'all had red shirts and MAGA hats galore. Sure wish you had some of that money back to pay for, and you can't even, I mean, they're really, the attorneys are afraid to take the cases because they feel like they are going to be negatively impacted. You cannot betray your own people. Like in the incomparable words of Lauryn Hill, how you gonna win when you ain't right within? You can't win. You wanted to send your own people back talking about those illegals. How dare you call your own brethren illegals because they came seeking the same thing you did? ICE tried to come up to a ballpark and the people stopped them and the owners denied them from coming in. Oh, that's good. I didn't hear about that. Shalom said some of these Haitians have a functional relationship with the LWAs and the Papa Legba. They melted ICE. Hey, they melted that ICE because they was putting feet to foot and butt to them. Sarah said, hey. Amazing Love said, LOL, yep, I remember that. Yeah, the audacity and unmitigated gall to think that you have a right. Because like I said, you cannot allow yourself to be deputized and tap another American citizen on the shoulder and center yourself in a way where you have decided that you are the authority figure and they are subjugated. You asked for trouble. You went looking for it and you got what you was looking for. Mocha B said, at Gen J, for real, the Dopest nerd introduced this to us and I researched it and it's a fact. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because the devil is and don't say the devil is a lie, say the devil is a liar. Because the devil is a lie is saying that the devil is not true, and he is absolutely true. He's a liar. He's a defeated foe. He is beneath us, but he definitely exists. He is a liar, though. Martha said comedian Tony Hinchcliffe, while performing at a rally, referred to Puerto Rico as a floating island of garbage. What? And I was heartbroken to hear that while watching live. No one spoke up but me on a chat. Really? That's foul. And listen, Puerto Rico is in the United States Commonwealth. They have American citizenship. Puerto Ricans don't have to get no passport to come here. And you don't need one to go there. You literally can go to Puerto Rico with your driver's license. It's an American Commonwealth, just like Guam is. And America has Commonwealth. You don't, listen, people better act like they know. That's what the problem is. Americans are woefully uneducated about simple things. And then they repeat things. Thank you, Martha. Martha said, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, fellowships, education, and research. It's Teddy said, Sarah said, I agree, 100%. It's Miss Teddy said, Manushka, Jean-Baptiste, and Kervin. That's right, honey, and I know lots of them. I know lots of them. I grew up with the Irvins and the Yves and the whole crew. and the Claude. Amazing said many can fight. What is it? What it is they have no fear. Absolutely. You cannot betray, you cannot defeat a people who don't fear death. You can't defeat someone who doesn't fear death. There is no defeating them. Shalom Shaw said at Martha Cardill, there's a place on Puerto Rico near the water that is gated and has security guards in which WHO are plural, occupying that space, and security can't talk about it when asked. Really? The World Health Organization? What are they doing over there? You have any idea, Shalom? What's up? Mocha B said, hashtag justice for Natanya Rubin. We stand with you and for you. Thank you, my love. I appreciate that so much. Haitians fought for 13 years straight to gain their independence. Asheo. And they ain't scared. And they eviscerated Napoleon's so-called impenetrable French army, sent them running back to Haiti with their tails tucked between their legs, the ones that survived, because many of them did not. Napoleon's army was eviscerated, and that is the plateau by which French stands on to continue stealing all this money and really graping Haiti and taking all of their resources and their money, just like they're doing to a lot of nations. That's why France is about to be over, boo. You ain't hear what Burkina Faso said? No, sir, not here. France does not have any gold mines, and yet their gold reserves are ample because they've taken it from Haiti, Burkina Faso, and other nation states that have natural gold reserves. Why are they still in 2025? They're allowed to still keep taking resources from a autonomous island or nation state. Why? Like, why are so many? And a lot of this is allowed to occur because a lot of the presidents and prime ministers of some of these nation states and these countries allow France to come and talk a good one in them, because they too have self-hate and want a seat at the table from white adjacency, and they got to stop. Those are not their friends. Those people see them as, what up for show? He said, the dopest nerd, how you doing today? Salute to you, my brother. I'm much better. I feel much better. I'm doing so much better. Guys, I had so much stress on me yesterday. My lip was quivering. I mean, it was like jumping, twitching, having spasms. It was crazy. And my head was hurting so bad, but I'm doing so much better. Shalom said at Amazing Love, they excel in darkness because they have faced so much of it. They must have rats and roaches on their animal totem. They survive anything. And I'm going to tell you something. What it is the spirit. Even bigger is my favorite scripture. Y'all know my favorite scripture, Ephesians 6:12. 6:12 is my birthday, June 12th. Ephesians, I implore you to look at the Bible, look up your date of birth in the Bible. So if you're 6:12, June 12th, look up all the different scriptures, look up the 6:12 of each scripture, or whatever your corresponding birthday is. I promise you, you will find a scripture that resonates with your life. Ephesians 6:12 has been mine forever. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities of darkness, against the rulers of darkness in this world and spiritual wickedness in high places. Once you realize the fight is not against flesh and blood, but it's a spirit battle, baby, I won every time. Because the spirit that's in me is the spirit of, like I said, Araminta Ross, aka Harriet Tubman, Denmark Vesey, Nat Turner, Toussaint Louverture, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. That's the spirit that lives in me, baby. I ain't scared of death, and I sure ain't scared to fight. I've always been a fight back person. So if you know, you know. And you all better learn to cry aloud and spare not and speak truth to power. You cannot be afraid of these people. They are banking on your fear. Reparation says, say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Hashtag Haiti. And I'm going to tell you something. What scared them was the Black Lives Matter march, because they saw not just black people, but people of every nationality, every race, every creed, every color band together in tandem with Black Americans and fight the good fight. And then it went global. And listen to me, the oppressors, the oppressive regime, oh, they lost their mind. They were terrified. They were like, oh, we got to stop this. We have to stop this. And so they got into their little alphabet letter agencies, and they started doing a whole lot of disinformation campaigns, a lot of us against them. When you saw Black Lives Matter marching and all of that destruction happening to the city, that wasn't us. That was Antifa. Antifa ain't got nothing to do with us. They came on the scene. They saw an opportunity to go in there and tear up the cities and act like it was us. That's why they were dressed in all black, so you couldn't identify them. And a lot of people caught them on video, and they didn't look nothing like us. Shalom said we have to do our history, our homework on history. We absolutely do. Tony G said Robert Maxwell was Mossad. I believe it wholeheartedly. I believe it wholeheartedly. And y'all know how he got taken out of here, how he got unalived? He got unalived on his own yacht, and his family was on the yacht. The mainstream narrative is always the lie. That's right, Sarah. He was on his own yacht. They claim he fell overboard somehow, and nobody really knew how. They surmised that I think he had too much to drink or something, and accidentally he fell over. But yes, his family was on that boat. Basically, they took him out because they wanted that manyan. It was like, we'll take that. You won't be needing this anymore, old man. We'll take the manyan. You go sleep with the fishes. Sarah said they rewrite, erase, and falsify history. Absolutely. Look what's taking place all over. Do you know that the waters are drying up all over the globe? The Euphrates has dried up. Water is popping out of the sand in the desert. I'm talking rivers are springing forth with fish and everything in the desert. The Euphrates has all but dried up, and all types of statues and carvings are underneath it that they've tried to hide from you guys. You don't believe me? Ask yourself. Check. Go look for yourself. Jen J said, Jean-Pierre Michel Baptiste Francois Petit will throw hands. LMAO. Yes, indeed. Michael. I went to school with a girl named Michael. May she rest in peace. She passed away. She was a doctor. That was my homie Pastromi. Was touching all on her. Yeah, on Sarah Bartman, just disrespecting her body. And she looks like so many of our grandmothers, aunts, you know, ourselves. A natural African body that could sustain, you know, that was made with birthing hips and every part of who we are. Shalom said we are hated around the world for a reason. CIA does a lot of clandestine stuff, destabilizing regions and such. Listen here. Not only that, it's Miss Teddy said they made a movie about Sarah Bartman. Really? I need to look at it. I was not aware of that. Not only you said a mouthful, Shalom, and let me tell you why. Do you know there are some videos right now, if you go check on YouTube, there are a few videos out there. Some people have been doing their research. Guess who they said is a CIA operative? A rapper, a female rapper. Y'all put it in the chat. Who y'all think it is? A female rapper they said is a CIA operative, one of the newer female rappers. Y'all put it in the chat. Let me see what y'all got. Sexy Red. There you go, Alina. Martha Cardile said one major from Los Angeles County came under fire because she kind of incited violence. She asked local gangs why so tough with their people but not tough with ICE. Listen, but well, did she lie though? She ain't lie though. Because if you're willing to unalive each other because somebody stepped on your sneakers, that's right, Shalom. They called Michelle a man, and they had a fit that she had the audacity to show her shoulders. Shalom said El Salvador Supermax as they get away with human rights issues. That's right. It's a concentration camp. Make no mistake. That is a concentration camp. Joy to the World said, Martha, she's right, though. So true, because deportation is supposed to be back to their home and not a worse place than their home. That's right. Or not some arbitrary place that some other, if you are the head of a country and you said you don't want these people in your country because they're not native to here, they don't have the right legally to be here. What gives you the right to illegally take them and deposit them somewhere other than their nation home? It doesn't make sense. And the fact that people are going for it is bananas to me. Shalom said, so that is why so many Nazis went to Latin America, because of the white agenda? Absolutely. Absolutely. Me no black. I will vote. Not vote, baby. Vote. I will vote for Donald Trump. Me no black. I'm Dominican. I bet you they ain't saying that now. I bet you they happy to be black because they blending in. I bet you they're not walking around saying that no more. I know black. I'm Dominican. No, they don't say that no more. I guarantee you. They happy they black. They blending in. They like, shh, don't make sense. All of us having to go back. Shalom said at Amazing Love, can you imagine going to South America It's going from South America to America, then to Africa. What? Yeah, WTF. Justice Network said, make it live. They just have no respect for citizenry and the people and the voice of the people. The government is supposed to be a government for the people, by the people, of the people. But they act like there is some sort of elite power that has nothing to do with us and that we don't have a say. Jen J. Shalom said, meanwhile, a lot of them have abuelo negros in the closet. That's right. You know, they say, what's the little statement? Something la raza, like improve the race, honor the ancestors. That's right. Ashe. It's Miss Teddy. Ayi Bobo. Amazing love. They send in them to countries they're not from. It's in unlivable camps. Absolutely. And not just unlivable camps, horrendous conditions are here. And they don't have to give access. They had some American congressman that tried to go and get back. There was a young guy who was a gay hairdresser, a hairdresser stylist. They snatched him up, and he was like, I can't go back home. In where I'm from, they will eviscerate me because they already thought that I was telling on them. And then because I was gay, they were beating me or whatever. That's how he got asylum. They didn't even care. This man's time for his asylum hearing was up. He was at the time for his asylum hearing, and they snatched him up and put him in. Now it's almost like, and then they just, because he didn't appear at his asylum hearing, they said it was void, invalidated because he didn't show up. But they knew his hearing was coming, and that's probably what they're using. If your hearing is coming up, they are appearing at the court waiting to snatch you up. But what it is with Doge, they gave these self-deputized military, militias access to federal information, which was illegal. They obtained it illegal. They should not have possession of it. And that's how they know to go to the courts and pick people up at court when their hearing is. That's how they know, because they have access through Doge to confidential information. Joy to the World said, Martha said, at Joy to the World, I know what she meant. She was frustrated, but since she does work for the city, state, she could be fired. And you know what? Sometimes you got to have integrity and say, F this job, fire me, let me collect my unemployment, but I'll have my integrity. Old Haitian lady in my building growing up always said, Bon Dieu pas dormi, God doesn't sleep. Yeah, that's right. That's right. He doesn't sleep. He is always watching. And he might not always come when you call, but he's always on time. The Le Marin Inconnu state in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, is that of an enslaved person using a conch to call other enslaved home to the island. Wow, that's beautiful. My godmother was from a part of Haiti called Cité du Soleil. It's videos of their own people saying that. Yeah, they absolutely were going to send their own people home. Wet foot, dry foot was inherently racist. I laugh when people say systemic racism isn't a thing. I said, listen, regardless of what you think of Reverend Al Sharpton, when he was out there fighting the good fight for Black people that were not being heard, whenever people were violated on a systemic level, they could always turn to him and his other comrades, Attorney Alton Maddox and C. Vernon Mason and all these other, Black leaders, Black pastors, Black people, that civil rights activists that would stand in the gap with you and for you when the system came against you. So many people used to be like, oh, please, there's no such thing as racism. Racism is over. Listen, I remember in the 80s when Reverend Al used to still wear the big permed hair. He used to wear them tight sweatsuits, not because he was trying to wear a tight suit, because he was chubby and I guess he got whatever size he could wear, but they were still tight. And he used to, listen, I personally witnessed it. He used to go around with a red can of paint and paint a red cross on the doors of all the drug spots in the rug spots in the neighborhood. If you had a crack house or anything, baby, he was going to paint a big red thing. And the police knew once that red thing was on the door, they knew what that was. They would do it I used to watch him. I used to watch him do it. If it was a known rug spot, he was going to mark that door, because they wanted to clean up the community. Right Sound said, I caught up to the live. Honeybee said, ICE didn't know that Haiti was the first Black republic in the West. It was the first Black free republic in the Western Hemisphere post-colonial slavery. Yes. Now, African nations had their own, they were autonomous nations. But in the Western Hemisphere that endured enslavement, yes, first free black in 1804, Haitians beat Napoleon and won their freedom. Y'all better act like you know. And for those who just jumped in, 500 Haitian military people, Haitian soldiers in the 1700s landed in Savannah, Georgia. America had to beg the Haitians to come and help them because they were losing the Revolutionary War. America, on this 4th of July that you are celebrating, for the rockets, red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flags were still here. Haitian bombs and Haitian military fought that so y'all could give proof to the night that your flags were still here. You won the American Revolution, the Revolutionary War, because of the Haitian soldiers. Like, let's say it loud and proud. Everybody needs to learn their history. Black Americans need to learn some history, diasporic history. Diasporic blacks and others need to learn Black American history. All immigrants need to understand Black American fight and history, because had it not been for them, you wouldn't have the abilities that you have here. That's just the plain truth. The Cubans are the group that shocked the hell out of me. Me too. I don't even understand. When did they get to that? I don't understand. I don't. Shalom was right. Shalom said, yes, like they did to the Japanese here in the US during the war. And some of them, reservations, are on bad land, unable to produce good crops. Here's the deal. And then they did this after what they did to the Japanese. And everybody knew it. They then they finessed Asians to become the model American, model citizen. So they like, yes, they do anything that the Americans say, and they still treat them like trash. They still treat them like trash. There is an elitism. Racism calls for them to be systemic. Racism requires an elitist mentality. It requires you to feel above someone so that you could subjugate everybody else. You have to be able to detach yourself to be able to feel like that about people and treat them like that. Margie said, justice for Natanya Rubin. Thank you so much, my love. Shalom said, Louisiana gets their voodoo from the Haitians that came here after the Haitian Revolution. Voodoo. When people say, oh yeah, mejora la raza, better the race, there is no secret what they consider to be better. Absolutely. That means make your race light skin. They always tell you don't get dark skin girl. Listen, Sammy Sosa. Y'all don't remember when Sammy Sosa bleached his skin and got the perm talking about, I'm going to clean up my skin. I want to clean my complexion. Clean as if your dark skin was unclean. All that psychosis existed in his head. Shalom said, Hashatan is devil, an advisory that can test our resolve. The goal is not to fail the test. Absolutely. But I think you meant adversary, but yes. If you have God, you have no fear. You just stand on your faith alone. Absolutely, Margie. Absolutely, honey. Tell them how it is. Haiti used to be one of the richest countries in the Western Hemisphere. Mississippi was the richest state at one time. Why? How? The labor of the enslaved. And here's the deal. Haiti is still a wealthy island nation. They have gold reserves. They just are being robbed by France. Alina said, I love the education that you're doling out, Natanya. I've always told people not to count on any politician or system to save them. The unity of the Haitians reminds me of how the Turks used to be. Absolutely. 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 Joy to the World said, what made ICE think that coming to Brooklyn was a good idea, child? Because they didn't do their history either, honey. And I'm going to tell you something. Mainstream society, the elite, the system of oppression lied not only to Black people, but they lied to white people too. I need white people to pick up a book. I want us to, now listen, we screened, I'm going to have to look in advance for some of these documentaries I want you to watch because, honey, we watched The Outer Limits yesterday on live, and baby, YouTube made me snip that whole thing. MGM struck my page and tried to strike down the video, so I had to let YouTube snip all of that out. So I haven't even looked at the end of the video to see what it looks like, but they snipped the whole section with the viewing that we watched out. So I got to look at some of these documentaries in advance to make sure that there won't be a copyright strike for them. And I want us to be able to watch. especially so there is a Haitian documentary called 1804, and it's by Tariq Nasheed. He is the same person that made Hidden Colors. I would love for us to screen Hidden Colors. It is, baby, if you think you got an education. Matter of fact, I'm going to check on it tonight. If Hidden Colors is able to be screened, you're going to watch it live tomorrow. There are 5 parts. There's Hidden Colors 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's 1804. Or Hidden Colors 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's a 5. And then 1804, which is a documentary about Haiti and the Haitian militia and revolution. I want you to see it. I really want you to see it. It's Miss Teddy said the Haitian Revolution is tied to the Louisiana Purchase. Alina said they are proving power of community, justice for the Haitians. Absolutely. Google Haitians fought ICE. Sakile. Margie Smith. Hey, Haiti chérie. Shalom said at Dopest Nerve, we don't know how, but they are moneyed and important. The people don't even know who is in their blackened car windows. Absolutely. They are, listen, these people have self-deputized. I don't know why people are getting in cars with these people with no documentable proof of who they are just because they are ICE agents working at the behest of ICE. You couldn't get me in there, baby. You think I'm going to stop and just go willingly with you? Not a blood clot. No way. Google Haitians fight ICE. Amen. Ephesians 6:12. That's right, Margie. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. We have to understand the battle is all spiritual. It is spiritual. Margie said, hold on. Ephesians 3, 5, and 6. I have to look that up. Yes, we saw the togetherness with Black Lives Matter in Minneapolis during the George Floyd riots. Indeed. And we're not going to call them riots. They weren't riots. It was a revolution. It was a march and a revolution. We were standing up. Vive révolution, vive la révolution. That's right. Hi, Martha Cardiel. I'm just getting in. This is a good place to be on a fine day. Absolutely. What up, Desert Druzy? How you doing, my love? Facts. Lots of masks. Lots of masks. These people are obscuring their sight. Perhaps that's one way to fight. Snatch their mask off. If they try to snatch you, snatch their mask off. Snatch their mask off. Let them reveal their face so we can know who they are. Yes, Natanya, they didn't like the fact that the people are getting hip to the fact that the Shlumani gives 0 Fs about the public. Yes, indeed, honey. Now, you done said a whole mouthful right there. That deserves a gold star, my love. It deserves a star. They had said that Epstein was a Mossad agent getting dirt, videotaping people for control. Listen, I told you guys to watch I Am Q Hef, Right 7X, I Am Perky, Dre _OG, and Mod Tricka on, I believe it was either yesterday's I Am Q Hef, or I believe it was Right 7F. One of the ladies said, when she was one of the victims of Epstein, she said when he was taking advantage of her, essaying her, she saw him morph. Jen said, 2 Timothy 1 and 7, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind. Asheo. Amen. To God be the glory. Absolutely, unequivocally. She said, when Jeffrey Epstein, she looked straight in that camera. She didn't blink. She was unmoved. She said, when he was essaying me, I saw him morph into some kind of demon. Have you not seen the resemblance between Jeffrey Epstein and Alexander Hamilton on the $20 bill? They are virtually twins. You know, they have all kinds of crazy time travel, this, that, whatever they do, CERN, tearing the time-space continuum, portal, you know, whatever the name is, whatever tactic they're using to manifest this. Look at the $20 bill and Jeffrey Epstein. Thank me after you see it. Desert Druzy says, so many rewritten narratives, my head spins. Indeed, indeed. That's right. I finally got to, They said Sexy Red is a CIA operative. Now, Sexy Red is a CIA operative, allegedly. This is what the thing is. And think about it. Let's look at the decline. And they said the CIA has used hip hop globally to destabilize other nations. The conscious rappers, they forced hip hop into those nations. Wherever they want to destabilize and overthrow the government, they push hip hop in there, and like a conscious hip hop to get the people to want to do a revolution to overthrow the government so America could come in and dominate. The CIA is doing that. It's disgusting. Disgusting. Using an organic art form that we created, an original art form created by young Black youth, to be the voice of reason and revolution against oppression and tyranny. And look at what they're doing with it. They've co-opted. But you can only co-opt the thing that people are willing to sell out. Martha Cardile said, a la Natalie Woods fell over the bungee boat because she had too much to drink. That's right. With Robert Wagner. Yeah, I remember that back in the days, honey. I remember that vividly. Yeah, Sexy Red, they said, was a CIA operative. And I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Have you ever seen her outside of the red wig and all that? She has very long natural hair, healthy hair, with edges and all that, with the glasses and everything. She looked like she could be a librarian. I've always felt like it was very character-y. The role she was playing was very characterish. It was like a caricature of a thug chick. The rapping is so rudimentary and basic too. It's really rhythm talking. And it's not like, yo, I spit flow, lyrically flow. No, nothing like that. It's 1, 2, 3, ABC. The full black backside is where they got the bustle from for their dresses. Absolutely. A la Sarah Bartman. You are 100% right. Teach the people them. Teach the youth them. Drake dated who? Sexy Red? Listen, honey, Drake dated everything. That sucker. He's on a relentless pursuit and thirst of anybody and anything. They call him Mr. Steal Your Man. He think he is, champagne poppy and all this foolishness, but he gonna get what he look. Well, I ain't gonna say he gonna get. Perhaps, let me shut up. Let me shut up. Sometime I be talking too much. Slow down. Slow down. Reparations said France will not survive for more than 3 months without resources from Africa. France is about to be done. The moment we don't allow them to buy our resources, it's a wrap. Listen, you heard what Burkina Faso said, and General Ibrahim Traore. He said, no, sir, you done. You not done. You done. Nothing else from here. You will not take our resources and our goal. You will not. And Desert Druzy said Hispanic people, or people from Hispanic countries are being sent to Myanmar. Wow. Are you serious? And Myanmar, wasn't they just overthrown a few years back? And that's how they became Myanmar. They were, I forget the name that they were prior to becoming Myanmar. My ancestors said no to European powers and are still paying the price for our reputation, the Turks. That's right. And you got to fight the power. That's what whatchamacallit was talking about. Fight the powers that be. Public enemy. They are afraid of America becoming more of a country of people of color as the genes are strong. Here's what it is. Here's what the long and short of it is. Of course, every decade they take the census. This is a way of categorizing and counting and keeping an account and a ledger of people. I've always questioned the legitimacy of the census because I feel like a lot of I feel like they collect the information, but they don't give us true numbers. I truly don't believe. First of all, let me just give you a little rudimentary math lesson. A little, we'll call it hood algebra. If in the times of old, during when enslavement was still legal, you had households of 2 and 3 adults and maybe 2 kids owning 20 to upwards of 300 enslaved people, not slaves. We are not slaves, enslaved people. So 2 or 3 white adults, and they owned 25 enslaved people. With those 25 enslaved people, they were breeding them, which was reproducing more and more people, having children, all types of stuff, trading them, purchasing more. You had some people that had 50 enslaved people, and they had 3 or maybe 2 or 3 adults in the house and 2 teenagers and whatever, and a young child. Some people had 350 enslaved people on their plantations. With all of those enslaved Black people, the larger number of enslaved Black people and the smaller number of white slave owners, when did the numbers shift? For Black people to be the minority in this country. You then, when you could no longer import your enslaved people, when they stopped the transatlantic slave trade, you then continue to create breeding farms where you bred people to use them as your cattle to keep your chattel slavery going. You literally were breeding people to keep chattel slavery going. When did the numbers change? Then you told us that when slavery ended, you know, enslaved people tried to find their family members and keep their families intact, and they were bigger families because you bred them so frequently. There were so many numbers. They went from here, there, hither, and yon. They did the Great Migration up north to get away from the South because the South had oppressed them so much. They continued to live, have their families. When did the numbers switch? By virtue of typical life, white families did not typically have larger families. They called it the American nuclear family. 2 adults, 2 kids, and a dog, and a white picket fence. That was considered the nuclear family. That's what y'all wanted to aspire to. So it was a 4-people household, maybe 5, but typically 4 people. That was the nuclear family. That was what was projected towards y'all. Meanwhile, Black people had, you know, you could have a family reunion or the family cookout, and y'all don't need to invite nobody. The whole family is the cookout. That many family members, cousins, aunties, this one, that one, second cousin, third cousin, this, that. So when did the numbers switch? In the 70s, in the 60s and 70s, the Black civil rights people were having babies. They felt a sense of autonomy, growing their families, Black families, growing their families. In the 80s, you told us that Black teenage pregnancy was out of control and that Black teenagers was having babies like rabbits, while white teenagers and their counterparts across town were not. In the 90s, you also told us Black teenage pregnancy was out of control. And by the 90s, young white women started saying, I want to go for a gap year. And that's when you start hearing about a gap year. I want to go work with the Peace Corps and climb the Adirondacks and all that, and not having babies and waiting till later to have they became the independent revolution of, I don't know if I want to get married, the Sex and the City generation. I just want to have fun and be an independent woman and this, that, the other. While Black people were still having babies, having families, big old cookout. You ever went to a Black family reunion? Baby, it's cousins you ain't met before. When did the numbers flip? When did we become minorities? We are not minorities. That's why I tell people, don't call me no minority. When I hear Black people on a TV show, yeah, so, you know, they're doing programs for minorities. Who's your minority? I'm not your mother effing minority. Don't ever address me that way. When I hear, it's bad enough when I hear white or other people call Black people minorities. But when Black people call Black people minorities, minority, less than, you calling yourself a less than? Foolishness. Absolute foolishness. It is my sincere belief that the true census numbers are not telling the truth. I remember when it started. I've been on the Black talk show, radio show market for a long time. 10 and 12 years ago, I was telling them that white race was in negative population growth 15 years ago. 15 years ago. You know what negative population growth means? More of you die than are born every year. That is why the census put out an all call, and they said, they reported about 12 years ago in a Time magazine that by the year 2045, white men would be the minority in this country. Then they revamped it a few years after that, and they said now the number's down to 2037. Then they revamped it. Then they said it was down to 2029 or 2035. Then it was down to 2029. Now it is 2027. They will be the minority. That is why they are getting rid of the Latinos, because Latinos look so much like them that they are also people that have families and procreate and have babies, and their numbers are growing exponentially. And that is why they got rid of them, because they said they will take over, and then it is expediting the process of white men being the minority. That is the real reason behind this exodus of all Latinos. This is what it is. They don't want a white-looking other to take them over. That's what this is about. Anybody who doesn't understand that to be a fact, you're disillusioned. You're disillusioned. Here's the irony. The American system went around the world forced sterilization, and I'll call it a flabortion, since there's some words you can't say here on YouTube. So flabortions to every nationality. They said, oh, India, you need money for your country? Okay, sterilize your women. And they did it. Oh, China, you want women? Implore the one-child rule. Why do you think schmex trafficking is such a rampant problem now? Because all of these civilizations no longer have. I watched a documentary about 8 years ago about how Asian families feel like they are being brought to shame because there are not enough girl children or not enough women for their sons to get married. This was created by America. The Rockefellers, the Carnegies, all these people back in the 40s, they went around giving aid to all these countries, and the premise was minimize your growth rate. It had nothing to do with the love of the country. It had nothing to, oh, we want to help y'all. It had everything to do with being the strongest superpower nation by having the biggest citizenry. Y'all got to understand this thing. And anybody that they feel like will reproduce, have their children, they fear them. And again, I want all of y'all, especially Black people, to stop repeating this stupid narrative. Black people are 13% of this country. They will have you believe our rate, we are 13% after all that I just explained to you. How they said in the 80s and the 90s, 70s, 80s, and the 90s that Black teenage pregnancy was out of control. Then how the hell are we still just 13% of the population? You know how stupid that is? 13%? Listen here, our numbers are far higher. Trust and believe me. Far higher. If they are going to be the minority in the country and they're supposed to be the majority of America, how then are we still only 13%? How the hell are we 13% for 50 years? Are y'all, I was getting ready to say y'all stupid, but my mother don't like the word stupid. We would get in trouble for saying stupid. Are y'all insane? How do y'all believe these narratives? Listen, they are telling you this for psychological warfare. As long as they tell Black people they are a minority and it's less of them in this country, we'll never get the mentality to overthrow them. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. Please act like you know. And if you don't know, you better clock that T. That's what this is. This is psychological warfare. Negative population growth, psychological warfare, and a thought that they are going, or the notion that they are going to lose their grip on power, the dominant society. Their thought that, oh no, the minute they get outnumber us, they're going to do to us what we did to them. That's what their fear is. That's what this is all about. That's what it's all about. Alina said, you know what's scary? They're now going to be sent to Libya, housed with the most dangerous criminals in the world under condition. Don't believe that. Don't repeat those terms. Libya don't got the most dangerous criminals in the world. Do you know how stable of a civilization Libya was before America finessed the world to believe that Muammar Gaddafi was bad? Muammar Gaddafi, when you got married in Libya, he gave every freshly young married couple money to buy a house and sustain them. He encouraged them to get married and have a child. They were educated. They had free education system. They had health care, everything. Libya was a civilized nation. Do you know why they did what they did to Muammar Gaddafi? because Muammar Gaddafi was speaking to the heads of states of all of the other African countries and telling they were about to create the gold standard. Remember, American gold is not backed, it's fiat currency, it's not backed by gold anymore. The gold standard ended in 1932. It is fiat currency, it's not backed by anything, it's just fictitious paper printed. You know who has the gold standard? Africa, the continent of Africa. And Muammar Gaddafi went around meeting with other heads of states in Africa and said, we can shut the world down. Let's create the Afrique. The Afrique will be the only dollar backed by gold with the strength of all of these nations in Africa, on the continent of Africa. They will be the strongest dollar, and they would shut the economy. They would flip the economy everywhere. And that is why they went into Libya, dragged Muammar Gaddafi down the street and disrespected this man, the head of his own independent nation. What gives America the right to walk? That's like your neighbor coming across the street, kicking your door in, dragging you outside, mollywopping you, and then walking around in your bathrobe, your little Versace bathrobe that you saved so much money to buy. Don't call that man the criminal and the Libyan people criminals. They're not. They are an African sovereign nation of people who did their right thing, had families, got what America calls the American dream. They had the Libyan dream. He made sure he undergirded his society. They have natural resources, oil, gold, diamonds, all kinds of stuff. America's broke. Europe is broke. Europe and America is the ghetto. They are sucking off the teat of Africa and other black nations. Don't ever disrespect them like that. I won't stand for that here. I know you didn't mean no harm because you're repeating the narrative that's told to you. Just like that whole thing about Saddam and all the stuff about Iraq. Listen, don't believe those narratives. I keep telling y'all, the mainstream narrative is the lie. Do you know that there are portals in Iraq and Iran? Portals like tear in the time-space continuum portals. And they believe that the Ark of the Covenant was there. That's why they raided them. That's why. Stop believing this narrative. They will. The first way that you get to overthrow a nation is to malign their character. Once you tell people they're no good, guess what happens? Everybody will believe the hype, and then won't have no problem if you drag them down the street in their nation. Do you remember what they did to Muammar Gaddafi? They beat and dragged this man naked, disrobed. He was holding onto little piece of robe fabric to cover his nakedness from the people of his country. They beat this man to smithereens. He didn't deserve it. You know, Libya is friggin' a wasteland now, when they were once a thriving country under Gaddafi, all because America and Europe did not want the African nations to unite and create, just like they made the euro. The euro is backed on the natural resources of Africa. Europe ain't got no natural resources. They cold, clammy, sweaty, and they got caves. Europe is built on the natural resources of Africa. All of them got their hand over the sea and is digging Africa stuff like that claw game. They just picking up stuff and dropping it over here. Picking up stuff, dropping over here. It's not theirs. That's why Ibrahim Traore said, that not gonna make it star. Guango bakayayad. And you're not stupid, Alina. I see somebody saying don't feel stupid. You're not stupid. All you are is you're believing the narrative that America tells you. Listen, America is that, you know, in your job, you know, in your friend group, you know, in your back home in your country, you know, in wherever. Oh, feel better, reparations. I hope you feel better. You know, wherever there's that messy chick. You know, the one that throw a rock and hide their hand. You know, the one that walk up to you that's, hey, boo, how you doing? I see you with your little new outfit. Okay, new outfit. All the while, she's hating, really. She don't really like you. She's hating. She looking you up and down like, I think we make around the same thing. She always shop. How she got this new outfit? She's hating on you. But then she walk over to the next girl and be like, somebody must be catching they behind at home. I bet you them bills ain't paid. You see, she got on another new outfit. Who can buy new outfits all the time? Then she go to another desk and say a whole nother thing about you. Meanwhile, she got all these groups of people joining in, following her, talking about you. She in the staff room eating your lunch. Then when you walk and be like, where's my food? I put my food. Who keeps taking my lunch? You don't know. It's the one who be starting all the trouble. That is America. America is the messy heifer that keep up a whole bunch of bacchanal all the time. And then throw a rock and hide her hand. Who are we to be going in nation states, independent nations, and telling them what to do? Who the heck do we think we are? Who do we think we are? We don't have the right. Desert Druzy said an attorney was snatched up at a raid at a Juneteenth festival. What? In SoCal? Oh my gosh. Alina said, I was told my job to go back to blonde hair because my natural black hair made me look harsh. You see those type of statements? That is what you call systemic oppression. It's systemic. What they're telling you is you look too ethnic. They're telling you should want to look more Anglo, white, blonde hair, their standard of beauty. Here's the funny thing about all the, not funny, but the ironic thing. Margie said, my integrity means everything to me. Me too. Me too, boo. Chef Haiti Star. Hey, beautiful. Comment ça va, my chérie? How are you? They want to deport Ilhan Omar back to Minnesota, from Minnesota back to Somalia. Listen, and she be cleaning their clocks, honey. What they can't stand is an educated person who doesn't want anybody who wants to maintain. Here's what America's biggest problem is with Muslims. Here's their biggest problem. America wants you to come to the shores of America, look at white supremacy, idolize it so much that you abandon all of your ethnicity, all of everything that is native to where you come from, and you buy into the American system and become a melting pot. You shed your national origin identity and you buy into the American system and look like copycats of them. That's what America wants you to do. America doesn't like Muslims because Muslims say we are not shedding anything. When you look at a Muslim, you know they're Muslim. You can have people from Muslim nations that have shed all of their, religious ideology and their attire, and they've melded into the American system. And so they're virtually indistinguishable. If you give them about one good generation or a few, depending on who it is now with the advent of social media and all this, they lose their accent in no time. They be stone cold American and jump into the dominant culture society of Americanized living, shed their identity and become American. That's what Americans want you to do. When you don't shed your identity and you want to hold on to your identity, but you become a part of the beautiful mosaic of America, they mad at you. They hate Muslims because when you look at a Muslim, regardless of what color, because Muslims are all colors, when you look at a Muslim, you know they're Muslim. You cannot make them, you can't misidentify them because you know they're Muslim. They hate that. They want people who are willing to abdicate their identity, their culture, their religious belief and everything, and just melt into a generic American. They want you to look like the Gap of society. Chambray blue shirt, khakis, boat shoes. That's what they want. And when you're willing to hold on to your religious identity, your ethnic identity, everything, they only think ethnicity is fun when they want to do, oh, I got a 23andMe and I'm 2% Czechoslovakian and I got 4% Nigerian. Hello, my black sister. I mean, come on. It's when it's for them and it's hyperbole to them, they think it's cool. If you disavow immigrants and you can't stand other ethnicities, why is America so hard pressed to know you're 23andMe, you're this, you're that? Why are y'all concerned? You want everybody to be stone cold American. America is there. People's like, I saw this lady admonishing this Latino man in a subway or something. And he's ordering a sandwich and he's like, don't speak, you're in America. Speak English. That's the language of America. Speak English. America doesn't have an official language. Go back to your country if you want to speak Spanish. When you're in America, you speak English. No, America doesn't have an official language. Are you aware of that? America doesn't have an official language. America was a new nation. We are the youngest superpower nation. America is that kid in the shopping mall cursing his mother out for another pair of Jordans, even though she just bought him 2 pairs the day before because he wants a 3rd pair. You know that kid I'm talking about. You know that kid. You get on my nerve, Ma. You're in shit. I want a new pair of Jordans. I'm saying it right now. And we be looking at them like, if you don't, and I don't beat kids, but I've had to look at a feminine like, if you don't whip his ass, who you talking to, boy? You talking to your mother like that? Big in the shopping mall. You know what I'm talking about? America don't have no respect, and they don't mind the business that pays them. They think they in everybody's business. They want to be in everybody's business except for their own. Had Americans focused on American business, wouldn't be no problem. America is the youngest superpower nation. It is a nation built on, because it was a new nation. Let's rephrase that. The landmass of North America belongs to indigenous people. But the colonizers came over and co-opted this landmass that belonged, AKA, we call it, is a term called Columbusing. That's when you discover something that already exists. You know what they do? They Columbus. Oh, the natives, they're so primitive. Let me stick my flag here. It's ours now. That's what they did. We all know it. We all know it. We all know it. But they come over and Columbus a place, take over, i.e. stake their claim. It's mine now. You natives run along, take these blankets with you so you can get smallpox on the Trail of Tears and we can eviscerate your whole kind. So we can wipe you away so we don't have to look at you to remember we stole this land from you. When they finally gained their independence after all of those European nations eviscerated here, the Louisiana Purchase, how you selling something you don't own? All you did was Columbus it. You came and stuck your flag and said, this is mine. You never owned it. So who are you to tell somebody else they can't come? But then when they had that influx, after America got their independence and they had that influx of immigrants from everywhere, France gave America the Statue of Liberty as a gift, a great colossus in the ocean of in the Atlantic seaboard at Ellis Island to welcome. You know what her book says? Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Give me your tired, as in tired of their homeland, your poor, as in those suffering in their homeland and they can't see their way, like all the other immigrants from everyone else and all the European countries did. Huddled masses, overcrowded conditions where they can't have autonomy, space, and a piece of the American pie. Your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. That's what America's, that's what Lady Liberty is holding in her damn book at the point of entry for America, which was Ellis Island. Okay? So who the hell gave the MAGA crew the right to decide who gets to come here? When did this stop coming? Because if you talk to all of them, listen, if your name is not Lightfoot, Pennyfeather, Running Bull, or if you're not the Seminole, the Blackfoot, the Chickaw, the Choctaw, the Cherokee, or if you're not one of those tribes, you are an immigrant. I don't care how long your mama and them people been here. You're an immigrant. Even if your people came over on the Nina and the Pinta and the Santa Maria, you is an immigrant. How dare you now close the door and say, oh, no, we're the acceptable immigrants. The rest of you run along. You have this is Hitler all over again, baby. Hitler said, I want to extinguish, I only want a pure society of Aryans. Blonde hair, blue eyes, eviscerate everyone else. While this man had black hair and brown eyes. How could y'all go for this okie doke? Y'all don't see the play? Y'all don't see the play all over again? Y'all sitting here, maggot out, the Proud Boys, MAGA, all these different crew. Half of y'all, Hitler, you wouldn't even pass Hitler's smell test. And I know that's a controversial statement, but if we speak in truth, let's speak the truth. I see people talking about go back to your country and they got brown hair and brown or black hair and brown eyes, ethnic than a mother effing looking. But you telling somebody go back to their country, where y'all gonna go? When y'all going? When y'all going? Who gives some the right to come in the door and slam the door behind them and tell everybody else they're not welcome? Who gives you the right? The premise of America was supposed to be a land of opportunity for people to emigrate to from all over. When did you get so superior that, oh, we don't want anyone else? Enough already. You see the hypocrisy? And now y'all want to walk around and go to Flatbush talking about Haitians, get out of here. Joke on you. Y'all must want some crushed ice. Y'all must have ordered some crushed ice. You know how when you go to some of the gas stations and they got the little drink machine and they got the little crushed ice. It's so nice and crushed and frosty. Clearly somebody ordered crushed ice because y'all played yourself if you thought you was doing that one. When you have a bunch of people, a group of people, a nation of people, whatever you want to call it, that are not afraid of death and not afraid to fight for their rights, you don't got no wins. None. When I say none, I mean none. You don't have no wins. You got the wrong one. The reason all of the Latinos are just, okay, and going with them is because y'all fell for the white oppressive regime okie doke. Yes, sir. No, ma'am. You did it to yourself. You're letting people that have not shown you any documents, no warrant, nothing with your name on it, no authoritative presence for themselves to cover. They covered up their face. They coming at you at gunpoint and taking you and putting you in an unmarked vehicle and taking you off to somewhere. What? That is the definition of kidnapping. What are you taught? Never let them get you to the second location, because unaliving usually happens at the second location. You don't even have no proof that these people are still alive. None. No proof. What proof do you have? You didn't hear what they said? A United States congressman flew over there to go check on the people, and they said, you cannot come in here, even though it's called a U.S. detention facility. He said, if this is a U.S. detention facility, I'm a U.S. congressperson, and there are no laws that can be made in the U.S. but by Congress. I want in. They said, not in here. Okay? So ask yourself. Chef Haiti, I'm so far back in the chat, y'all. What time is it? Ooh, child, I'm far back in the chat. But you understand what I'm saying? Chef Haiti Star said exactly. We were ostracized by so many in the U.S. I was picked on, but I stood up. Absolutely. Because you got to stand your ground. Alina said, I'm a first-gen Turkish-American immigrant, and I'm constantly trying to search for history that wasn't taught to us in school, but I know it's BS. Oh, no, honey. Let me tell you something. Here's what you got to look at. You have to look at the documentary. I'm going to look to see if I can screen it without YouTube flagging my channel. Or what will happen is, if it has a strike, it will not monetize it. So if in the intro, this is how much I love y'all. I'm going to, if it strikes it, I'm going to let it be struck where it doesn't harm my channel, but I won't be able to monetize it. But for the greater good of educating y'all, we gonna do it. That's the promise I'm making to you. So I'm going to screen Hidden Colors tomorrow. Prepare yourself for an education like you never had before. You are going to learn so much. Listen to me. Have your notebooks with you. Trust me. There is so much information. Have your notebooks with you. Oh, we're going to learn some Black American history, baby. Baby. Yeah, Sammy Sosa looked like a madman. Ooh, child, I ain't even see this. Shalom. I was devastated because I looked up to him. Wait, let me see. Even after the Tawana bro. See, again, joy to the world. Misinformation. Let me find the original comment. He said, shalom. Let's see. Let's see if I can find the statement. Shalom Shaw said, at joy to the, hold on. Shalom said, at joy to the world. I don't trust that man, but I wish him well. Some people are sheep and easy to lead somewhere. So I'm assuming that is Reverend Al Sharpton. So let me read the follow-up conversations so I can get to the, I know I'm far back in the comments. when I'm watching the real-time comments on the smaller screen. Let's see. Chef Haiti Star said, yes, look at the Trujillo regime against Haitians from the Dominican government. One island separated by the border. It's sad. Indeed, I hate it. That's why I won't go to DR for nothing. Everybody be like, oh, let's go to DR for vacation. No, ma'am. Until they do right by Haiti, I'm not going there. No. And people be drinking that bootleg liquor anyway and passing out and going up to the upper room. Joy to the World said, shalom. I was devastated because I looked up to him even after the Tawana Brawley fiasco. I still gave him the benefit of the doubt. Well, let me give y'all a little information about the Tawana Brawley fiasco. It wasn't a fiasco. Tawana Brawley was absolutely unequivocally graped by those people. She absolutely was. In fact, the first police officer that she pointed out the day they found her, the one that she said his name was so-and-so and this and that, do you know what he did? He unalived himself because she knew his name. See, he had been harassing her before. She knew his name from the community. Don't believe, listen, I keep telling y'all, the mainstream narrative is the lie. Those men graped Tawana Brawley. And then they doubled down and bullied her. And people will fold under. People will fold because the powers that be come against you. It wasn't no fiasco. That young girl really was essayed. She was really essayed. But because that was Wappinger Falls. I remember that vividly. See, Tawana Brawley, my age. She was graped. Y'all don't remember that, do y'all? The first cop she told on, she said, I know it was so-and-so. We're going to look that story up too. Just like I did Eleanor Bumpers, we're going to do Tawana Brawley. Because I'm tired of this girl having to be abused and have her reputation diminished, and she was telling the truth. That one cop that kept harassing her, kept messing with her in the neighborhood, y'all know how they do. The cops in the neighborhood, y'all know how they do. Or when they text set by you, or an older adult or somebody, when them text set by you, they text set on somebody that they think they can get over on messing with. You know, don't act. Y'all know. So Reverend Al Sharpton, Alton Maddox, attorney Alton Maddox, and attorney C. Vernon Mason fought the good fight to help a young girl who dominant white society was taking advantage of after they had raped her and refusing to thoroughly investigate. You know why they investigate? Because they would have been investigating themselves. Police officers. Ain't a business what would Google tell you. I remember I was there. That is my childhood. She's from New York. Me too. She was actually graped by those officers and they got away with it. Think about all the other cases where officers did something to somebody and they lied. Look at the man who just won a big lawsuit. Look at the man who just got a big settlement because he lived in this state. I forget what state it was. I just watched this attorney, and he does he takes up people's cases. This black guy lived in this section of town. 92% of the town was white. He was dating a white girl. One of the white girls he was dating was in his house. She was acting crazy, and he said, I want her put out. So he called the cops to get her put out. They had to put her out because it was his house and she was wilding out or whatever. But then they finessed him so he must have said to the girl, get your ass out of here, girl, get out of here. Don't nobody want you. And they was like, oh, you could do what you want in your house, but you're not gonna be talking junk to her out here. And the man was in his doorway. They grabbed him and mollywopped him outside his doorway and then commenced to beating the brakes off. Oh, you want to date white women? We'll show you. And beat the brakes off and broke his eye socket, broke his jaw, he knocked out many of his teeth, all that. He just got a multi-million-dollar loss. And then they arrested him for assaulting an officer. And what's their favorite thing? Obstruction of, how you going to charge me? How is my only arrestable offense obstruction? Obstruction of what? You have to have an articulable crime in order that for me to be obstructing. Obstruction can't be the premier crime. They beat the man down, arrested him, put him in jail. Then he kept saying, I need help. I need help. He almost lost his eye. Do you know when they got him? He said, I want to go to the hospital. They would not take him to the hospital. Somebody that was watching called the ambulance. They wouldn't let the ambulance take him. They took him to jail. When he got him to the jail, you know what the jail said? We reject him. We will not take him in here because of his medical condition. They rejected him. Then they drove him back home and said, don't say I never gave you a favor. You better keep your mouth shut. He then reported it, went to the hospital, reported to someone else. And guess what? He just got a massive settlement. They tried to hide it because they said, who are you to be dating white women? Listen here. Stop believing the narrative. There are many police narratives written down that are lies. Lies, I say. I'm going to tell y'all about a very good one day. Ask me how I know. Y'all got to stop believing these narratives. This young lady was disrespected. Alton Maddox, attorney C. Vernon Mason was disbarred, all for fighting for a young black girl. Why would y'all believe? Abner Louima. Yes, Chef Haiti Star. What lie they going to tell? I remember the cop. I remember the case. He even tried to pop out with and say, I'm not racist. I have a black girlfriend. Her last name was Beckles. I remember it vividly. I keep telling all there's a walking internet, walking encyclopedia. You know what the cops did? Ran up in a club in Brooklyn. I think it was, what was it called? Rendezvous? Ran up in a club in Brooklyn, strong-armed some people in the club, held this young man, Abner Louima, down and sodomized him with a wooden nightstick. Now, under what premise would that be okay? Then they lied about it, tore this man's rectum and whole bunch of organs to smithereens. Stop believing the narrative of the mainstream. They are liars. Time immemorial through history, they're liars. Why you believe them on these individual cases? Don't you understand when you're willing to believe their shit, they can do it to you? What happened when they grab your child and claim that he did this, that, and the other, and then do him like that? Then who's going to believe you if you're always willing to believe the narrative? Stop believing their narrative. It's lies. Lies. Why would you need to sodomize somebody with a friggin' nightstick? A wooden nightstick. You know what a police officer's wooden nightstick look like? It's about this big. It's solid wood. It has I think that's why they stopped him from having that long nightstick now. I think they have now a truncated version of the nightstick. It's a long, my father's nightstick hung on a nail in our kitchen. It has a leather strap through this hole, and it's about this long. The original New York City Police Department nightsticks. Solid wood. Cylindrical, long, solid wood. They shoved that thing off his rectum. Why would somebody need to do that? Amadou Diallo. I think he was a Ghanaian immigrant coming home from work, working. They said he worked like a Hebrew slave. Work. He was taking out his keys. They came looking for another scenario, saw this man coming from work. He had his keys and his wallet in his hand. They screamed, gun, 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 gun. They shot Amadou Diallo, 64 times? And then lied about his mother. Lied about it. His beautiful mother, Kadiatou Diallo. Listen here. Listen, I am the news. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know. Go Google her name. Kadiatou Diallo. She had to come from her country and bury her son and fight the good fight. She ended up staying here and becoming an activist. Yusef Hawkins, young boy in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, went to a party in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn with his classmates, and the white boys there was mad that they were at the party and beat him to death. Sean Bell, young black man on the night before his wedding, went out for his bachelor plaid to a party in Queens. I think it was Club Amazura. Leaving the club, some undercover cops in New York with this this military, they was TNT. They was called TNT, the Tactical Narcotics Team. Assumed that they were looking suspicious, ran down there. You're not supposed to fire into a moving car, shot up the car, killing the groom on the morning of his wedding. How will you tell me, say? I am the walking encyclopedia. I am the internet. These are the stories of my life. I remember them vividly. Sean Bell, his fiance was, I think her name was Nicole. Somebody Google her. I know her name, Nicole. They had 2 daughters. She fought the good fight to make sure Sean Bell's name was not forgotten. Trust me, this is listen, baby. I'm the internet. I am the internet. I'm the internet. Oh, absolutely. I know I'm behind in the chat, but yes, I talked about it. I remember the march in 19 on the bridge because they said Haiti, they said being Haitian was a part of the, it was the 80s. Being Haitian was a criteria for HIV. And so they marched on the Brooklyn Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge, shut the whole damn traffic down, locked up New York. You could not drive in or out of Manhattan, not from there, and marched to the United Nations. I was there. I walked. Yes. This is my world. Listen, there is something in me that fights the good fight. I don't like to see people taken advantage of. I don't like to see people like victimized by disgusting, oppressive regimes of people. I bet you I could tell you the cop name with the Abner Louima thing by heart too. I remember he found some black girl because, baby, we dogged that black girl. Her last name was Beckles, and she came out trying to claim like she was his girlfriend. They came up with that old song and dance like, oh, he can't be racist. He has a black girlfriend. Listen here. Listen here. This is listen, when I tell you, I know his name. Shout out to Alina. No, you don't have to be sorry, baby. You are still learning, and it's okay. We all learning. I learn stuff too. Don't think for 1 second I don't learn. Thank you for the super chat, my love. You have no reason to be sorry. We are a family here, and we are learning and growing together. We are family, baby. Ain't no harm, no foul. I just want people to know. Don't believe America's lies. Justin Volpe. That's what his name, Volpe, Justin Volpe. I'll never forget it. He tried to take this man's manhood because he was a closeted sexual deviant. Yes, Justin Volpe. And I wonder where that chick is now. She was a female officer. Her last name was Beckles. She tried to act like she was his girlfriend. You know, like they must have hired her to play the role of his girlfriend. And anytime you saw them publicly, it looked so artificial and so fake. It looked so stupid and so fake. We was like, why would you allow yourself to be friggin' used like that? But she lucky they didn't have no social media then, boy, because they would have well dragged and she deserved it. You don't let yourself be used like that. Justin Volpe. And he went to jail too. He sure did. And they try to be, oh, he's a good boy. Oh, Justin's a good boy. No, it wasn't nothing good about him. Nothing. Nothing good about him. Black fiance. Her last name was Beckles. I remember she was Caribbean. I don't know why she allowed herself to be used like that. But it was a joke. I don't know if it was a fiance, but a girlfriend. It wasn't real, though. It was a fake relationship. They just did that so that they could try to lessen the blow and try to fool the judge so that he didn't get as much time. Justin Volpe, that nasty son of a bitch. I wonder where he is. If you think he's still in jail? Yeah, we're putting a book list up there. What's the documentary? Chef Haiti Star, what's the documentary? I love y'all too. Oh, thank you. Honeybee said Hispanics and Latinos don't put up with the mess in their own countries. They are quick to have a revolution, but afraid of ICE because they were afraid of the white system of oppression. They believe the hype of the white oppressors. They believe the hype. And a lot of people have believed that hype for some strange reason. The Statue of Liberty original design included chains in her hands, but that was changed to a tablet before the statue was. Well, no, she had chains on her ankles too. She had chains on her ankles. I don't believe that chains on her hand thing, because I went to let me tell you something. In 1983, I went to the Statue of Liberty Centennial, the 100th anniversary of the Statue of Liberty. We did all kinds of, my mother took me and all of my friends and my sisters. We did all kinds of lessons on the Statue of Liberty and all this history. She had chains on her feet. And the lie was that she was a gift from France, because the sculptor in France, his mother was enslaved, and she escaped. She was. They try to say, well, they have so many names for biracial. They said Melungian. That's what they also say. That's another version of biracial from like, you know who else they said was Melungian? Abe Lincoln. You see that beard? You see that kinky hair? They don't want to say biracial. They don't want to say he's a mulatto, so they say Melungian. It's all different versions or degrees, like octoroon, quarteroon, maroon, all different degrees of. Back in the day, they say you had the 1-drop rule. If you had 1 drop of blood, you black. That's what they said. Yes, that is what they said. And they said so they said the sculptor's mother was half black, or she was enslaved, formerly enslaved. And it was a gift from France to America. But what they call Lady Liberty, that face is absolutely not Lady Liberty. That face is the face of manifest destiny. That is the face of manifest destiny. And the face, Google another picture of Shaitan. He has an apple at his foot and a chain on his ankle, just like Lady Liberty. They say that is Satan. We were told, Lady Liberty, greet you on the shores. That is the face is manifest destiny. Okay? The original face, they said, had too negroid a figure. Her appearance was too negroid, like her nose had a little size to it. They said that not gonna make it, and so them send a new face. Now they might have told y'all some story about the original face cracked in transport. Nope. Yeah, I'm gonna do the old cases of New York. Absolutely. We talked about that yesterday. I said I'm gonna do the old cases of New York. Baby. Okay, I lived in Canarsie before I moved here. Before I was relocated by the district attorney's office. Canarsie. Let's see. She didn't. No, honeybee. She did not tie herself up in a garbage bag and threw herself from a moving vehicle. Oh, okay. So you say, yeah, thank you. You're saying it like hyperbole. Okay, good. Because I thought you were saying like that's what she did. No, they claimed that she tied herself up in a garbage bag, threw herself from a moving vehicle, and somebody had written on her body in feces. They took a dump on her and wrote on her body. But they wanted us to believe that this young girl who was constrained was able to write with her own finger on her own body and have the lettering all come out properly. Who knows how to write backwards on their own self? It's one thing if they told you on a paper to write backwards. You might be able to figure it out, but it would come out looking sus. But no, these people, somebody wrote on her, they wrote B and whore on her in feces on her body and wrote it properly, like if they were leaning over her and writing it with their finger. But they wanted us to believe she wrote it on herself. And she had been missing for days. Those cops did that to her. We're not going in here. There will be no Tawana Brawley disrespect. That girl has endured too much. There will be no Tawana Brawley disrespect in my house. No. I remember Abner Louima vividly. What other stuff what other names y'all dropped? Yep. Amadou Diallo. The police is, I told y'all, they're the biggest gang in the world. Biggest gang. No. The lawyer wasn't disbarred because he knew she was lying. The lawyer was disbarred because they knew she was telling the truth, and they was putting so much pressure on the necks of that police force that, what the fuck was that? Oh, they was putting so much, excuse my French, guys. No, not my French. I won't disrespect French. Excuse my cousin. They knew that they was putting so much pressure on them, and it was good. They were going to discover the truth. They have to malign your character. They have to malign your character to defeat you. And so when they knew that they couldn't stop them from talking because they was giving it to them. Remember, the Amsterdam News was the black newspaper in New York, and the Amsterdam News was running them stories, and it was as C. Vernon Mason, Alton Maddox, attorney Alton Maddox, C. Vernon Mason, and Al Sharpton was giving it to them. They had their foot on their neck. And so what they did was then claim that he did some, the things that he was saying was slanderous. And as a cop, as an attorney, and then they challenged they reported him to the bar and disbarred him. He wasn't lying. There will be, Sean Bell's not wife. They never got to get married. Fiance was Nicole. And then, but I think then the family did something like allowed her to change. They gave her the permission and endorsed her changing her last name to Bell so that her and her kids could be Bell. And she kept that name for a long time. And then she eventually got married, but she fought the good fight, definitely trying to rep for him. Nicole Paltry. That's right. Yep. Nicole Paltry. I remember. They freed Justin Volpe into 2023? Sheesh. And of course, we know about the Central Park Five, which we call the Exonerated Five. I know two of them. In fact, let me see if I can show y'all a picture. Let me show Ole a picture. I'll tell you, your girl knows some of everybody. Let me look up his picture. Yusef Salam. How do I look up? Raheem Shabazz. Dang. I gotta find that picture. I saw it the other day in my phone. Let me put Nirvana. We call them the Exonerated Five. And I was pregnant with that one, and I was out there protesting with my daughter. Excuse me, with my son in belly. Let me put Nirvana in yellow shirt. I wish I could find the picture. I promise I saw the picture recently. I saw that picture recently. So they removed the chains off of her feet. Yeah, that listen, honey, they told us that you can't believe the negative. Anything they told us as mainstream. They claimed that Elvis was Melungian too. I didn't know that, Shalom. I didn't know that at all. So I guess that's what they were saying, that his hip movements was from that little stiff wine he used to do that he stole from Little Richard. It's all good. I know you didn't. It's all good. Joy to the world, because they always told us a whole bunch of stuff. They always told us a whole bunch of foolish. And look at the irony. When Yusef Salam was getting sworn in as the city councilman for Harlem, or assemblyman, city council Harlem, I think city council. He went from being a young boy who was arrested falsely under the narrative of having graped an investment banker, a Wall Street investment banker, because they wanted to get somebody. And guess who it was? A white-skinned Hispanic boy. And they knew he had done something like that in Manhattan by 90-something Street, just right below Harlem, not that long before. And they knew he was there, but they disavowed him because they wanted to make that headline. Wilding in the park. That's what they get, where they grabbed up the young guys and questioned them. Like, we ain't do nothing. We were just wilding. That's old New York slang. We was outside wilding. Wilding just mean you outside having fun doing your thing. But no, they wanted, it made for good headline. They were in Central Park wilding, the wilding packs. Oh, they went crazy. First of all, we didn't put the D in it. We just said wilding, because there are parts of speech in AAVE where we don't add certain hard, not wilding, but wilding. They had a field day with that. It's Miss Teddy said, we all know the Central Park Five. I'm glad Ava DuVernay created the film. I'd love a film, at least a doc on Tawana, Youssef, Amadou, etc. Where are they now? Would be nice. Yeah, I know Tawana Brawley changed her name because they had disrespected that child so much that the only way that she could have a semblance of natural life is that she had to change her name. Yes, Stargates and Ancient Tech in Iraq. Yes, indeed, my love. African woman was the original gift as the statue, but they didn't want that one. Oh, of course not. Of course not. I didn't. Yeah, you were saying that they claimed Elvis was Melungeon. I'd never heard that. So let me ask y'all a question. So you know the Lincoln Memorial. How many people are familiar with the Lincoln Memorial, where Abe Lincoln is in Manhattan, sitting in that in Washington, sitting in that big chair? We look back and shaking our head. Yeah, I never investigate. It's all good, baby. It's all good. They don't want us to investigate. That's why they like to tell you. They will show you the news, and the person is speaking. They will mute the person's speech, and the person will be speaking to the reporter, and they'll be shaking their head, and then they'll be telling you, the person said blah, blah, blah. Why you got to tell me what the person said? Just let me hear what the person said. You ain't got to tell me. They talking to you. But no, they'll never show you that because it's a tell lie to your vision. Tell lie to your vision. Thank you guys. I love you guys too. We're not gonna stay much longer because it's getting late. Elvis got that hit moon rock and roll from Sister Rosetta Thorpe and Little Richard. They done stole all Little Richard stuff. Richard Pennyman. Beiji Boo Wagwan. Who? Tawana Brawley is a Muslim married with kids. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I love that. No, she did not lie. I'm so sorry that this young lady dealt with all that. There will be no Tawana Brawley slumming. It's 5:15 in England. Oh my goodness. Yeah, she didn't lie. She did not lie. I remember that. Listen, when I tell you just woke up, I remember that friggin' part of town she lived in. They did her dirty. They did her dirty. Because ask yourself why. If a young Black girl was missing for days, you didn't have nothing to do with it. You are a law-abiding citizen, not just a law-abiding citizen, but a police sergeant. And this young lady gets found thrown from a vehicle in a garbage bag with words written all on her, beaten, bruised, essayed, with feces, words written on her in feces, had to be written by somebody standing over her writing because they were correct, and how would she have laid there and written on herself for the words to come out correctly? It's just nonsense. And then she said, the cop, that big, it was a chubby, heavy-set cop. She said that one fat cop that's always messing with me. He wasn't fat per se, but if you're a young girl of 15 or whatever, 16, the big, he's 6-something or kind of overweight, he's fat to you. So she's like that big cop, that's such and such. He always bothers me. He did it. He was there. He graped me. If you was a law-abiding citizen and a police officer who ain't did nothing wrong. Why would you unalive yourself the next day? The next day, soon as she identified him, and she said it was 5 of them. Soon as she identified, why would he unalive himself? Kalief Browder. Oh my goodness. That broke my heart. That broke my heart. He was too good for this world. He was also a lesson in faith, a lesson in mental health, a lesson in integrity. And guess what it was? I hate to say it. A white boy lied and said, he stole my book bag. They did this to this young man over a book bag that he never stole. He never stole the book bag. White guy said, he stole my book bag. They ruined that young man's life. Ruined him. Took him at 15, 16, put him in a Rikers Island in an adult jail. He said, I did not steal his bag. And little do you know, Kalief Browder was adopted. He was adopted. The mother fought, but it's bigger than just the fact that somebody lied to him and said that he stole their book bag. It's about the bail system. That's why me and a bunch of people here in this yet to be identified state, we used to do a thing called the Mother's Day bailout and the Father's Day bailout. We would bail people out of jail on Mother's Day and Father's Day because a lot of them were on cash bail and they couldn't get a bond because the cash bail was under a certain threshold. And so it had to be cash and they couldn't get out of jail for $300, $220, $190. They didn't have the money to get out. They lost their apartments, lost their jobs. Kids got put into foster care because they're in jail on a cash bail and they can't get out. And they still haven't had, their case adjudicated. So everybody would donate money and we would bail people out of jail for Mother's Day and Father's Day. It's this system, and that's what it was. Kalief was on a cash bail system. His parents couldn't come up with the amount for the bond, and the bail was too much. They said they needed such and such amount in cash, and they couldn't come up. And now hear you. The father had the money, but he was one of them token ass, soft shoe, buck shuffling, shucking, jiving, whatever the white man say kind of dudes. And he let them make him believe that Kalief did something. And Kalief was like, I didn't do it. The mother was like, please, he didn't do it. Just give me the money. But he had some kind of malice in his heart or whatever and everything. And he would not give the money. He would not give the money. When that boy was in jail for a crime he did not commit in an adult ward, they saw him as fresh meat. Those men were in there some of them got life and they were just brought back down because they got another case that's being adjudicated. And so they were waiting to go to court and they in there. Rikers Island is one of the worst prisons you could ever go to. They would beat him and grape him. They would set him to fight other inmates. He would never fight back. They would beat the daylights out of him, grape him. Multiple grown, big, muscular dudes would hold him down and grape him and take him like a manhood. Left him in there, then put him in solitary confinement when he tried to tell. There is video footage of all of his fights with him getting beat down and he crying out for the correction officers right there. Correction officer turned around and walked away and let the big muscle-bound man continue to beat him and drag him in out of his cell and grape him. And then when he tried to tell, because he kept telling, they put him in solitary confinement. The solitary confinement broke that man's mind. Solitary is a torture technique. It broke his mind. When he finally got out, he had been violated so much. He was ashamed. He tried. He went to school. He was going to school. He was doing so good, but he could not face the reality of what they had taken from him, what they had stripped him of, how they had violated his mind, body, soul, and spirit. He couldn't take it. And his mother was fighting to protect her son, fight him, keep on a straight and narrow. And one day she heard this loud boom. And he had unalived himself out the back window in their house. It tore his mother to shreds. His mother literally withered away and was annihilated of a broken heart. Passed away from a broken heart. So devastating. So devastating. And she literally was never the same again. She fought. And then here's the crazy stuff. She fought so hard and long. And guess what? You will never guess what the father did. When it was the mother was her mother was so brokenhearted and she was having all these health problems and stuff. And they tried to sue the state for violating Khalif's rights and doing what they did to him. Guess what the father did? After the mother then fought so hard and got the case going so that they could pay. The mother was sick and passing away. The father took the settlement money and thief out the settlement money and run off for a son he didn't even want to bail out. Fought the other siblings and them for the money, saying he's inherited, he's the father. Dastardly, baby. But I say there's a special place in hell for him. Dirty so-and-so, and didn't want to share none with the siblings. And it was one sibling that really, really stood down with the mother and tried to really help fight the case for Khalif. And the mother ended up passing away, and she was broke and suffering. And so she finally got to be back with her baby. I think she wanted to go so she could be with her baby. Yeah. Hey, Toinette. Hi, what a guan, honey? Chilling. And they kept messing with him too. They stalked him. Yup, strange cars outside his house and all that. You're 100% right. Toinette said, wagwan, my love. There. Horrible. And the father stole the money. Could you imagine? Could you imagine you're such a savage you wouldn't bail him out? And guess what the amount of money to bail him out was? I think it was like $1,100. But the father took the settlement of hundreds of thousands. I think it was almost maybe in excess of $1 million something. Somebody Google that. Let me make sure how much. But it was like $1 million plus or something like that. Can you believe it? Ooh, child, when I tell you, some people don't got no fear of God. But guys, we have come. This was a long one. I want to wrap it back up like we do in MLA style. After we cite all our sources, we come back to the thesis statement. So in conclusion, ICE, you try to come to Brooklyn, to the Haitian Massive, and think say you gonna come out and thief with people. And when you got to meet the Zoe Pound, it was man down. Baby, nothing no go so. Haitians, 3.3 million settlement. 3.3. He wouldn't bail him out for $1,100, and he absconded with a $3.3 million settlement. Can you believe it? He would not bail his son out who never did anything wrong. And then the boy eventually admitted Khalif did not steal his book bag. After all that time, he admitted it, that he did not steal the book bag. Khalif, and they kept saying, we'll let you go. Just say you stole the book bag, take a plea, and we'll let you go. He was like, I'm not going to say that I didn't do it. I want to be something in life. And if I say that, it's going to mess with. Listen, baby, he would not bail Khalif out for the $1,100, but he imtekwe $3.3 million. It's disgusting. 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 It's really bad. Yeah, I know. Ironically, Jay-Z produced it. I was thinking to myself, one of the better things he did, because I don't know about the rest of that shit. But the story had to be told. Yeah, they said $3,000 to bail him out. But what I remember watching the documentary with his mother in it, it was only $1,100 she needed to come up with. And they could not come up with the $1,100 because she had to pay rent. And every time she had to pay rent, she could not take the money out, or they would risk thing, because she had had problems before and she had missed rent before. So she didn't want to lose the place. And then she was sick, and I think she ended up having to get on public assistance and all type of stuff. It was, I remember vividly, $1,100. But I remember she was sitting in the pawn shop and he was like, y'all can't come up with $1,100. And she was like, you don't understand. Don't say it like that. Like, I think one of the sisters was like, he can't just say it like that. People got bills. And yep. Crazy. He is a worthless ninja. And then blocked his family, like the other siblings and stuff, and wouldn't give them none. Ooh, child. Hey, Luna. You late to class, you're gonna have to catch it on the replay, gang. But everybody, as always, Lord willing and the creek don't rise. I love you guys. We shall return tomorrow. Like I said, I'm gonna do some research after I get off here. I'm gonna look to see if I can screen Hidden Colors, because Tariq Nasheed don't be playing. But I hope we can. I think it's been a while. I think, hey baby, it's okay, Luna. I think it's been a while, and so we may be able to screen it with no problems. And if so, I am going to screen this tomorrow. So I'm going to do it a little earlier. I'll probably come on at about 5 in the afternoon. I think 5 is a good time. People would have done their, running around and Saturday chores and making their runs and all that, and then be home. We're going to screen Hidden Colors. Prepare yourself. Have your notepads, your books, your good pen. Have 2 pens in case your pen run out of ink, because you're going to be writing, baby. You about to get you are going to prepare to be delighted and mystified. Everybody, I don't care what the color of your skin is. We are one nerd herd family. Come here with a clear mind, open mind, willing to hear and receive and learn. Some of the messages are going to be tough. I want everybody to come with their thick skin, but it is listen, when I tell you it is a lesson that has to be had. It is a better understanding of who America is and how it's treated its citizens, namely Black people in America. I want you to come with your tough skin on, lay your aspersions aside, and open heart, open mind, open spirit, ready to learn. Fantastic documentary series. Fantastic. We will start tomorrow, 5 o'clock. I'm going to make the thumbnail tonight. Well, if Nirvana's still up, I'm going to have her make the thumbnail, because y'all know my thumbnails is the crummy. It's the purple one. And y'all, I want y'all to tell me, which thumbnails do y'all like? Do you like the purple thumbnails, the traditional nerd herd purple thumbnail because it's easily identifiable? Or do you like the variety thumbnail? Tell me what y'all like. Write it in the chat. After we get off, write it in the chat. Let me know. Yeah, the family settled for 3.3. And then they say family settled. No, the father got that money. The same father who refused to bail him out finessed the mother and everybody out of the money and got the money and wouldn't give them none. I promise you. You don't believe me? Go back and look at the docuseries. Did that woman dirty. But Lord willing and the creek don't rise, I love you all. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with us. I want to shout out to the Haitian Massive in Brooklyn that represented so hard and showed ICE how they get down. They taught ICE about the Zoll Pound and how they get down. I want everybody to fight the power. Cry aloud and spare not. Fight the power, speak truth to power, and don't be afraid. There are more of us than they are of them. Do not let anybody come to your door. There is a castle doctrine. You do not have to open your door for anyone who does not have a search warrant. Even if they have an arrest warrant, that is not enough. Arrest warrant means they got to catch you outside. They got to catch you outside. But you don't have to open your door to them. The castle doctrine dictates you are not obligated to open your door. Do not let them take you away. Don't let them take you away. Calvina said, good evening, the dopest nerd and the nerd herd. Just wanted to say hey before you close out. I've been here drawing and listening in. Okay, great, baby. How you doing, Calvina? Hey, Lori Lane. Everybody, listen. Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Tomorrow, please, God, we will meet here again, 5 o'clock. I'm going to have the thumbnail. We will watch. We are going to screen Hidden Colors. And there is Hidden Colors 1, 2, the Hidden Colors, then 2, 3, 4. I believe there's a 5, and then 1804, which is the story of Haiti and it getting its independence. Abner Torres says, as a Boricua, I love me some Haitian. Went to high school with many of them, learned to play with them. That's right. And listen, and we love our Boricuas. We love our whole diasporic family. All of us, no matter what color, skin, nationality, whatever. We are a global community. There is somebody from, I think, every continent in the nerd herd. We have somebody from every continent on the nerd herd. So we are a global family. We got the whole world in our hands. Let's do this. Let's show them how it is. I want you guys to all share the nerd herd with at least 5 friends. I know you got 5 people in your life, your mama, your cousin, your this, your that, knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone, who want to get this good lessons, who are positive and want something different. They don't want to just always watch. I mean, they watch their little ratchet TV. We all get a little ratchet TV in us. Although I'm a weirdo, I don't. But they get their ratchet TV, but you want something different from time to time. Hey, shout out Lisa Cluis said Germany here. And before y'all go, drop your locations in the chat. Drop your locations in the chat before you sign off. We out here. Nerds unite. We could change this whole world if only we come together. We could change this whole world. We cannot let them continue to keep telling us the lies. We are entitled to know the truth. Let's make it happen. Let's do it. Abner said Boston. Convener said Brownsville. Hey, Brooklyn in the house, without a doubt. What up, Boston? Bronx. Drop your locations in the chat before you dip out. Drop your locations. Representing, Bejibu said England, but representing for Barbados. Barbuda. Or Antilles, Nevis. That's Nevis, I think. Sylvia said Florida. Barbados and Nevis. New Jersey. I saw it, Lori. 3.3. Oh, Barbados and St. Vincent. Yeah, my bad. New Jersey. What up, New Jersey? We out here. We are definitely out here. And there's so many nerds out here, and it's okay to want to just get an education and hear stories. And here's the thing. Listen, just by virtue of the fact that I be pulling all this stuff out of my head, I promise you this head is so full of information. It is so full of, I remember everything. I never forget things. Trust me, it's uncanny. And people are always like, how'd you just know that? Hey, Gail. I just know. I read everything everywhere I go. You see how if you have to go somewhere and you stand on a line and you're like standing on line like, oh, it takes so long. If they have a paper, I'm going to pick up the paper and be like, I'm reading every piece of paper. If they have flyers, I'm going to read every flyer. I just take in information all the time. I love information. I tell y'all, the way crackheads love crack, I love information. And I read everything. I take in everything. I listen to everything. I take in information. And then I don't just take it in. I go do deep dives. I go through rabbit holes and be like looking around for information. I cite my sources. I find out more information. I just gather information. And I'm like, okay, here it is. And I go talk to people. If there's a protest, I go march. When the Central Park 5, when everybody was protesting on their behalf, I was there. I was pregnant with my oldest son, walking for them 36 years ago, or 37 because he's 36. 37 years ago, I was out there walking because I was like, no, this could be, I knew I was having a ball. I was like, this could be my son. No, I'm not going to just sit back. And we knew they were not guilty. We knew they weren't guilty. We knew they weren't guilty back then. Look at what they all had to go through. Look at and Corey Wise, oh my God, he got it the worst. Oh my God. And here's the thing. He wasn't even there. He wasn't there. He went down to the precinct with one of his friends. And because he had some type of cognitive deficits, they saw about, here's what, and there was a clothing store in New York called Sims. Sims had all the designer stuff and just really nice clothes. And they had a markdown system. If they had it it would be the price for like a certain amount of days, 21 days. And then if it was there for 21 days, it would drop it like 25%. And if it was there for another 14 days or 7 days, they would drop it again. If it was there then it drops to its lowest price, and it's just a sale price. Dope designer stuff. Everybody from New York, y'all remember Sims? And their catchphrase, their advertisement was Sims, an educated consumer is our very best customer. And I was like, why would a person need to be educated to shop at a clothing store? And then I realized, oh, because the more you know about the quality that you're buying, the more inclined you are to get a better value for your dollar. And I was like, that makes sense. I think I could use that and apply that to everything. And I literally applied that to every single thing in my life. As much as I knew all the information there was to know about a thing, nobody could take advantage of me. Nobody could gaslight me. Nobody could take advantage of me. Nobody could con me because I'm well-versed. I'm well-versed. And I think all of y'all should be too. The more you know, the more you grow, and nobody could walk over you. And so that's all I'm doing, sharing all of this, getting it out of me, purging, sharing it with her, because it does no good with me keeping it all in. I already know it. I have to share it with you guys. So like I said, sleep well, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Tomorrow, please God, we will be here at 5 o'clock watching Hidden Colors. You are going to love it. That's right, Beji Boo. Knowledge is such a valuable currency. Bring your books, bring your pens, everything. Information is powerful more than money itself. That's right. Right, right sound says irregular, wrong sizing, or a button missing. There's a spare button right here. Cheaper, thank you. Yes. But they have fine stuff. I bought some of the fly. I remember these red leather gloves I bought from Sims. Oh, you couldn't tell me nothing. Some red leather driving gloves. You couldn't tell me nothing. Brains. Thank you, Abner. I appreciate it. Sleep well, guys. Mwah. Tomorrow, please God, we'll return. See you guys tomorrow. Say your prayers.